In the last days of the 21st century, humanity faced a devastating undead plague. They swarmed the cities, turning residents into hordes of zombies. The situation was critical. Larry, from America's strongest guild, rose to fight back, and the main character chosen for this battle was Wang Sik, a man so perfect, many believed he was only a legend. Without hesitation, Wang Sik charged to the front lines alone. Thousands of skeletons surged toward him, but their grotesque and terrifying forms didn't faze Wang Sik in the slightest. An aura of power erupted from him, forming a protective barrier. A divine shield descended from the heavens, shattering into countless fragments. Each fragment landed on him, encasing his body. Wang Sik was now in an impenetrable state. He then raised his hand, aiming an attack at the undead. Provoked, they charged at Wang Sik in a unified wave. His support team in the rear watched in terror. They frantically combined their skills to assist him. In mere seconds, the ground beneath Wang Sik became a living hell. Sacred flames erupted, incinerating the undead hordes. Soon, only scattered ashes remained. Amidst the carnage, Wang Sik stood tall and unscathed. He stood upon the skeletal remains, to the absolute shock of his team. However, the battle they thought was over was about to begin again. The skeleton soldiers weren't finished. They struggled to attack Wang Sik once more. Their final boss was still alive, controlling them from the shadows. They latched onto his leg as a colossal skeleton charged from the side. Their intention was clear, to kill Wang Sik, but he remained calm, unleashing a skill at the undead boss. He caught it effortlessly with a single hand. It struggled helplessly in his grasp, clinging to its last shred of hope, but a miracle wasn't coming. Wang Sik used his mystic power to control and obliterate them. Even the beast above him collapsed from the immense pressure. Having lost its master, it was now just a lifeless skeleton. It then crumbled into pieces, turning to dust. Light finally returned to the sky. The support team rushed to Wang Sik's location, but found nothing but upturned earth and sand. They cried out in despair, believing Wang Sik had sacrificed himself. But no, he's the main character. He wouldn't die so easily. He emerged from the earth, completely unharmed by that world-shaking explosion. He was a man who could withstand a bone dragon's breath, the ultimate tanker. But like any other human, he couldn't fly. Helpless in the deep crater, he called out, "Could someone get me a rope?" We cut to the U.S. Hunter headquarters, the White Dome. Wang Sik noted the name didn't quite match the building's exterior. But underground, it lived up to its name. A massive, white, dome-shaped vault. He scanned items with unknown effects, bones from rare monsters, and weapons classified by their danger level. This was one of the 3 great treasure vaults. The guard at the entrance bowed respectfully to Smith. As he placed his eye on the scanner, the massive door before them slowly opened. Wang Sik couldn't help but be impressed. Smith announced, "Welcome to the White Dome, Hunter Wang Sik. As per our agreement, you may choose any one item from this 3rd-grade vault." A brilliant, intricate hammer shimmered in one display case. In another, an eye-catching sword drew his gaze. Wang Sik slowly walked past the displays, lost in thought. Most of the artifacts here were at least A+ rank. It was incredible that over 200 such items were gathered in one place. He mused to himself, if this is just a 3rd-grade vault, what treasures do the 1st and 2nd-grade vaults hold? Smith spoke up. "That necklace? You have a good eye." He introduced the Tear of the Phantom Eye. "It's an enchanted amulet that grants resistance to illusions. I thought it might suit a tanker like yourself." Wang Sik observed the item intently for a moment. Then, he gave his blunt assessment. "The design is a little boring." Smith was incredulous. "Is it really that bad?" He added, "Well, most of the items over there aren't that useful." He continued, "At least, compared to the other artifacts here." But Wang Sik cut him off. "I'll take this one." The Tear of Necris was a necklace-shaped artifact. Smith hesitated. "Are you certain?" "Well, I won't stop you." He couldn't believe his choice. "Positive," Wang Sik said with a grin. "I just happen to like the design." The scene shifts to Narita Airport, where Wang Sik casually steps off the plane. Ida greeted him cheerfully. "Welcome back, Hunter Wang Sik. I'm glad to see you've returned safely." He then offered, "How about we get something to eat? I can drive." Wang Sik politely declined. "Maybe another time. I'd like to just go home and rest for now." A short while later, their car was cruising down the road. Ida broke the silence. "By the way, did Smith say anything else to you?" That jogged his memory. "Ah," Wang Sik replied, "he gave me this." Ida took it, surprised. "What is this?" His surprise turned to anger. "A special naturalization form? That sneaky bastard. Just as I suspected, he's always scheming." Ida then asked, "You're not actually considering this, are you?" Wang Sik simply replied, No. Unfortunately, they don't permit dual citizenship. Hearing this, Ida's good mood returned. I knew I picked the right man, but Wang Sik cut in. Ah, but you should read the fine print. Ida read slowly. Upon naturalization, you'll receive housing, tax exemptions, and priority access to gates. He was shocked. This level of financial support, and they're even offering. Ida started to sweat. An artifact from the second-grade White Dome vault? Wang Sik pressed him. So, what's your verdict? It didn't take him long to decide. Fine, I'll grant you access to our vault. As the director of Japan's Hunter Bureau, he declared, the first-grade vault. Wang Sik simply replied, Oh, does ours even have grades? There are only about 20 items in total, right? He continued, and half of them have already been given to me. Ida switched to begging mode. Please, I'm begging you. People are already complaining about your special privileges. Wang Sik dodged the plea. That's not really my problems, is it? Suddenly, Wang Sik's danger sense flared to life. He leaned forward. What's wrong? The driver could only stammer in panic. A truck. A truck up ahead was veering into oncoming traffic. In an instant, Wang Sik shattered the car door and leaped outside. He activated a skill, shooting a chain from his fingertip that instantly wrapped around the truck driver. He yanked the man free, who was still in a state of shock. Wang Sik caught him just as they landed. He gently chided. Are you even paying attention when you drive? You need to be more careful. The driver, trembling with tears in his eyes, just said, I'm sorry. Wang Sik then turned to the other car to assess the situation. Looks like no one was injured. His gaze fell upon the back seat, where the little girl sat, completely frozen in shock. He leaned in to ask Han, Are you okay? The girl was still dazed, unable to utter a word. Seeing that the situation was stable, Wang Sik offered a friendly smile. Ida spoke up. Luckily, it was just the door this time. Last time you punched off the roof, the repair bill was insane. He replied, It was an emergency, no time to open it gently. He understood the situation. Wang Sik was right. Compared to a human life, a broken door was nothing. Their conversation wasn't over. Hey, we weren't finished. Sorry, it's too windy. I couldn't hear you. The scene shifts to a deserted island near Japan. Wang Sik said it once more. Thank you, Takeo-san. His friend replied, pleased, even though I was busy. Don't worry about it. Call me whenever you need. Takeo-san said. Oh, and one more thing. You always eat instant ramen, right? This is homemade kimchi. Eat it with your noodles. He was delighted. Awesome. Thanks. I really appreciate it. Takeo-san called out to Wang Sik. He expressed his concern. When you're cleaning, drinking, or all alone, whenever it feels like too much, call me anytime. I'll come right away. He said, if you weren't here, I would have. But Wang Sik cut Takeo-san off. It's all right, he consoled him. You're my friend, aren't you? Takeo-san smiled softly. Yeah. And just like that, they said their goodbyes. The lush forest was now filled with dense trees. Wang Sik slowly approached his house in the middle of the forest. Stepping inside, he let out a quiet smirk. Stacks of instant ramen filled his cupboards. Comics and superhero figures were also on display. A steaming hot bowl of ramen sat on the table. On the TV, a superhero appeared. The hero of Earth. Video Man. Wang Sik watched intently as he ate. Evil Empire, Demon Kingdom, prepare yourselves. The red hero then leaped up, posing to unleash his attack. The sound of the TV echoed from another memory. Video Man punch! The children there cheered wildly. You can do it, Video Man. Defeat the Demon Kingdom. One of those children was a massive fan. Go, Video Man. The monster fled in anger. We will definitely rule the Earth next time. Mark my words. The hero declared, it's useless, no matter how many times you come. The boy shouted, we'll protect the Earth at all costs. And now, Wang Sik whispered those same words. The show ended just as he finished his ramen. He sighed. A true masterpiece. No matter how many times I watch, Video Man never gets old. Suddenly, he froze. A memory flashed in his mind. Wang Sik, what are you doing? Come play with us. He put down the remote and pressed something else. A projection screen lowered from above. He stood before it, looking at the countless names written there. Wang Sik whispered, and 71 more. He was filled with resolve. Everyone, just wait for me. I swear I'll bring you all back, no matter the cost. His face twisted with hatred. I swear it. At the American Hunter Bureau, Smith asked, any progress on your investigation of Wang Sik? His subordinate replied, yes, sir. His background is highly unusual. The agent said, are you aware of the mass disappearance in Japan 15 years ago? Smith answered, of course. The subordinate continued his report. Children under 15 vanished from an orphanage. Over 300 people went missing. Smith then added, I heard monsters abducted them and took them through a gate. An unprecedented disaster. Smith hesitated. Don't tell me. The agent confirmed, it's exactly as you suspect. He emphasized, we believe Wang Sik was one of the missing children. Smith was utterly astonished. You mean he returned from the other side of the gate? That's unbelievable. The knowledge he possesses alone would be a fortune. Smith asked, was he the only one who came back? His subordinate answered, there were 2 others. They're being investigated by Japan's Hunter Bureau, but it appears their director is covering it up. Smith gave a firm order. Find those 2, whatever it takes. Understood, sir. He presented a document. Ah, this is the data scanned when Wang Sik entered the White Dome. The information on it left Smith deeply unsettled. He couldn't believe it. He's only a C-rank hunter? Smith asked again. Is there some mistake? The agent replied. The biometric results did indeed rate him as a C-rank. Smith was stunned. We had assumed he was an S-rank, but he turned out to be a C-rank. The subordinate added. Among his equipment, there was a shield whose rank we couldn't appraise. Smith mused. That golden shield. But no matter how rare it is, there's no way a C-rank could possess power far beyond an S-rank, with just one item. Smith analyzed. Furthermore, a C-rank hunter couldn't possibly handle an item emitting that much magical power. There are too many inconsistencies. We must be missing something. Smith then regained his composure. Continue the investigation, and try to persuade him to naturalize, he said grimly. No matter what secret he is hiding, we will uncover every last piece of it. The scene then changes. A security guard was standing at the gate. He blocked the way. This area is off limits to civilians. If you don't have permission, you must. He suddenly had a flash of recognition. Wait, aren't you Hunter Wang Sik? My mistake. Please go right in. Wang Sik smiled. Thank you. He was at Japan's Hunter Bureau, one of the largest government facilities. Hunters are a critical national asset in global competition, and now information is a tool for politicians. Large corporations act as sponsors, and many private guilds have grown as if pushed aside. Wang Sik walked past a car, then stopped for a moment. He said, the director is still using this old car? He's so cheap. He judged. 3 years ago, it was already a beat-up old vehicle. A memory from the past surfaced. Ida was driving Wang Sik when she suddenly slammed on the brakes. Ida said softly, get out. They spoke to each other. What's wrong? You're free, Wang Sik said. Aren't we going to the research facility? She replied, you survived the hell on the other side of the gate. You're a victim who successfully returned. Yet with no support for recovery, you're being treated like a lab rat. Ida was brutally honest. My conscience won't allow it, she explained. Every citizen has the right to be protected by their country. That is what I believe. You're exactly the kind of citizen we're meant to protect. Wang Sik hesitated. But, Director, I'll just cause you problems. The director smiled softly. I always follow my heart, so I will gladly bear that burden. Ida then declared, from now on, you can decide your own path. This money should help you get by for a while. He expressed his regret. I'm sorry you were interrogated so harshly. Please, forgive me, he continued. And if you ever need help, just find me. Understood? Back in the present, Ida was ecstatic. All right, welcome back, our savior. Hearing that, Wang Sik couldn't help but cringe. He got straight to business. This is the list of treasures from the White Dome. I've already filtered for the most notable items. Ida suggested, why don't you have a seat first? But Wang Sik turned away. Actually, I'm not feeling well, so I'm leaving. Ida stopped him. Wait, why are you being so cold? I have some huge news today. Placing a hot cup of tea on the table, he began. Do you remember the little girl you saved from that recent truck accident? Wang Sik replied, yes, I do. Ida quickly revealed, don't be shocked, but the girl you saved is the daughter of Iko Hasiba. Wang Sik froze. Wait, Iko Hasiba from the 9 Stars Corporation? Ida confirmed, precisely. Iko Hasiba, the Iron Queen and chairwoman of the 9 Stars Corporation, one of the 20 most powerful financial figures in the country. Wang Sik was not interested. So what? Ida's tone softened, preparing for what came next. He pleaded, please, you have to help me. Wang Sik was startled. What do you mean, so suddenly? Ida said, Iko Hasiba promised a donation to the Hunter Bureau as a token of thanks, 1 billion yen. Wang Sik replied, that's great for you, just accept it gracefully. The director looked uneasy. Her team wants to thank you in person. But I told them you were a full-time agent of the Hunter Bureau. Wang Sik reminded him, I've told you before, I don't want to be tied down to this place. The director understood. Yes, I know our contract, but I've always seen you as an official member. Kwang Shich's brow furrowed. Director, Ida admitted, fine. I just wanted you to get some recognition. We're backed into a corner. You know our budget gets cut every year. He continued to beg. I just want my agents to work more comfortably. Can't you have some pity on a man who just wants to keep his people safe? Kwang Shich thought. After all, most of the budget is spent on me. Meanwhile, the director was a mess of tears. Kwang Shish finally gave in. All right, let's just get it over with. I can go now if you want. His counterpart beamed. Excellent. I'm glad you're being so cooperative. Ida said quickly. I'll contact the 9 Stars Corporation right now. Kwang Shich just grunted. Suddenly, an alert was sent to them both, and the room fell silent. Kwang Shich said, an emergency gate support request. The director added, looks like the Hasiba matter will have to wait. Junsu's voice came on. You've co-confirmed the request, right? He acknowledged her, chief secretary. She continued, we're dispatching a helicopter immediately. Kwang Shich replied, understood. The scene changes to the Hana Logistics Center. Yes, sir. Kwang Shich asked, isn't this gate under the jurisdiction of the Black Heaven Guild? His subordinate replied, yes. Their second elite team entered 2 hours ago. He was taken aback. This place is chaotic. The agent added. Also, their second team includes Hana Mizukami, Hana, known for her incredible beauty and as an internationally recognized A-rank fire mage. She enters dangerous gates without hesitation, has a flawless reputation, and fans follow her everywhere. Kwang Shish and the agent continued their exchange. So she's in there and hasn't returned? Yes, sir. Based on the situation, things could get worse. The gate's rank was upgraded from B to A. That was an hour ago, and reinforcements still haven't arrived. His subordinate looked anxious. Even now, they're not here. The Black Heaven Guild keeps insisting there's no problem. Their first elite team should have been here by now. But at this rate... Suddenly, a powerful tremor shook the area. The jolt threw them off balance. Kwang Shich was stunned. Impossible. The gate. He could see it was about to shatter. The agent yelled, please, sir, you have to act immediately. But another man stepped forward to block them. Hey, who are you guys? He warned. This area is restricted. Leave now if you don't want to get hurt. The subordinate explained, we're from the Hunter Bureau, here to investigate the gate. Please cooperate with us. But the guild member refused. The Hunter Bureau? Our first elite team will be here soon. This is a Black Heaven Guild operation, so leave it to us and get out. His subordinate grew visibly worried. Can't you see the gate's condition? A dungeon break could happen any second. Are you going to let people die just to protect your guild's reputation? Hearing this, the man became agitated. He threatened, you think the Bureau's arrival can change anything? You're not the one going in to fight, are you? He sneered. All you useless leeches do is burn money. Why don't you just watch from behind the safety of the barrier? The agent shot back. During a gate crisis, the Hunter Bureau has the authority to issue necessary orders and instructions. This is a perfectly legal clause, he asserted firmly. Because of the risk of a dungeon break, the Hunter Bureau has the duty and the right to intervene in this incident. Kwang Shich stopped him. You heard what he said. He then added, if you have a problem with it, you can file a lawsuit. The man bristled. Who the hell are you? He advised calmly. Use paperwork, not your fists. That's how civilized people handle these problems. The guild member was stunned. What is this pressure? Kwang Shich and his agent walked past him. We're handling this. Make sure to demand compensation from the Black Heaven Guild. Leave it to me, sir. If they want to keep it secret that an outsider helped, they'll give us anything we want. The man gritted his teeth in anger. He muttered, what the hell is going on? Are you with the Hunter Bureau too? Kwang Shich replied as he walked. No. He glanced back and said, I'm the savior. Meanwhile, Hana spoke. You're not serious. 2/3 of the squad are rookies? She was skeptical. Commander, are you underestimating this raid? The commander was confident. They may be new, but they're all promising rookies. It's better to give them combat experience. He flattered her. More importantly, we have the A-rank mage Hana Mizukami with us. Isn't that enough? She shot back. I'm not a kindergarten teacher, you know, he said casually. Come on, stop complaining. All the major guilds operate this way now. If things get dangerous like you fear, we'll just retreat. The commander rambled on. And even if there's a problem in the dungeon, we can just send in the real elite team to handle it and collect the reward. He'd quelled the crisis. A perfect win-win. He was pleased, 2 birds with 1 stone. Noticing her expression, he pressed on. You hate these kinds of talks, don't you? The commander added, but keeping up with trends is vital. We're not a charity. Suddenly, a voice from the back cried out, Commander, over there! A murmur went through the group. Dark priests? The one in purple must be their leader. They sized up the threat. Magic users. This is going to be difficult, but they weren't unbeatable. Just then, the dark priest slammed his staff down. The stone floor immediately began to tremble. Confusion spread through their ranks. The commander panicked. "What in the world?" Hana yelled. "Something's wrong. Everyone, battle positions." The ground beneath them shattered without warning. A colossal stone monster erupted from the floor, lunging straight for the group. Hana and the others stared in shock. A golem? The commander was horrified. What's that doing in a B-rank dungeon? Instantly, a streak of fire shot forward with incredible speed. It slammed directly into the golem, a powerful opening strike. Hana poured all of her focus and energy into the fight. Massive fireballs rained down upon the creature in a stunning display. Soon, the golem's torso was critically damaged, but Hana didn't let up, casting another magic circle. "Go to hell, you wretched giant," she screamed. This final assault shattered the golem's body. It exploded before their very eyes, raining down dust and rock. The beast was finally defeated. Hana, her face streaked with blood, gasped for breath. She looked around in disbelief. No. Everyone but me. They're all gone? Suddenly, an ominous purple light glowed behind her. Something lunged from the shadows at impossible speed, slamming into her. Hana was thrown backward, skidding violently across the rough stone floor. Her clothes were in tatters. She grit her teeth, struggling back to her feet. The dark priest, she thought. I'm out of mana. I used it all on the golem. The dark priest began to conjure its own spell. Seeing this, Hana's heart sank. Is this the end? A sphere of dark energy formed and flew towards her. It closed in, leaving her no room to escape. A massive explosion erupted in a blinding flash of light. Hana squeezed her eyes shut, bracing for the inevitable. But nothing happened. She cautiously opened her eyes. A figure in majestic armor stood before her, radiating a brilliant, protective light. Hana stammered, "Who are you?" The figure calmly replied, "It's all right." A brilliant golden chain suddenly wrapped around her. "I'm getting you out of this gate," Wang Sik said. He commanded the chain to pull her back through the portal. Once she was clear, he said, "There." The dark priests began forming more spheres of dark energy, but this time, they were much smaller. The others followed suit, creating a swarm of dark orbs. They all shot towards Wang Sik in a massive barrage. He remained perfectly still, showing no reaction at all. Then, the priest summoned a giant serpent, its presence crushing the very air around them. The serpent opened its massive jaws, lunging at him. But Wang Sik met it with a steel-hard fist, a counter that clearly surprised the dark priest. Wang Sik spoke, "Hey, that's a nice staff you've got there." Outside, reporters swarmed the scene. "Someone is still fighting inside. You can't move in your condition," people urged. "Reinforcements are on the way. We have to wait." But Hana insisted, "Every second counts." The gatekeeper warned her quietly, "Hey, keep your voice down. You're drawing a crowd. The reporters are starting to notice you now." Hana ignored him, unleashing a wave of energy to push them back. "Get back, unless you want to be incinerated," she threatened. The others could only step aside, not knowing what else to do. Hana strode back through the gate without hesitation. She was met by a surprisingly gentle, fading light. They all realized the gate had been cleared. She was stunned. He did all of this. Alone? How? Wang Sik spoke softly. "Your clothes are completely torn." He then turned away. "That cloak is very important to me. Make sure you return it later." She called after him, "Wait, please." He glanced back. "When you do, send it via the Hunter Management Bureau." The two men continued their conversation. "Excellent work, Wang Sik. Leave the rest to me. I almost feel sorry for the Black Heaven Guild, having to negotiate with you." Watching them, Hana fell silent, lost in thought. Meanwhile, a tense meeting was underway. "So you're saying a hunter from the Bureau entered the gate without authorization, without our permission, rescued Hana Mizukami, and cleared the gate?" The subordinate confirmed, "Yes, sir. We've also received Hana's official testimony." The superior scoffed, "She's always held a grudge against us. It's obviously a lie, Morimoto." The Black Heaven Guild master sneered. He likely just mopped up the stragglers to steal the glory. Those budget-sucking parasites from the Bureau get more arrogant every day. His subordinate then reported, "I've already sent the case files to our contacts in the assembly." The guildmaster added, "Tell Mizukami to keep her mouth shut," Morimoto declared, "and notify the top 10 guilds. I'm calling a council of masters." "Understood," the man seethed with rage. "I'll use this opportunity to crush that arrogant fool and make Ida grovel at my feet." The scene shifts. "Welcome back, Hunter Wang Sik. We've just received the report. Ida grinned. I hear you gave the Black Heaven Guild quite a memorable lesson. In any case, well done, Wang Sik replied calmly. I only did what was needed to protect civilians. Ida waved a hand dismissively. Leave the fallout to me. Don't give it a second thought, he continued. Still, taking on an entire guild like that was a risky move, wasn't it? The politicians on their payroll are already making a fuss. If they think they can do something, let them try. This time, I'll make every single one of them eat their words. Still, you should be careful, Wang Sik advised. That's outside my field, so don't expect any help. Ida just smirked. Hey, I am the director, you know. I'm more than prepared. Wang Sik nodded. Yes, I understand. Anyway, here, Ida said, offering an item. Proof. It belonged to the leader of the Dark Priests. Use it if you need to. No one saw me take it. Ida smiled, satisfied. Thank you. I'll return it when this is over. They continued their discussion over a cup of tea. By the way, have we confirmed the meeting date? Meeting date? Come on, be serious. Ida prompted. Aiko Hashiba, from the 9 Stars Corporation. Don't tell me you forgot. The scene shifts to a taxi rolling down the street. It pulls to a stop, and Wang Sik steps out. He thinks to himself. So, it's her. He thought to himself. The iron-blooded queen, Aiko Hashiba. She spoke first. Welcome. We were expecting you. Hashiba introduced herself. I am Aka Hashiba. He returned the gesture. Ah, I'm Wang Sik. Yuna ran up from behind, calling out, Mister, he asked her. Have you been doing well? The little girl smiled. Yes, I have. Yuna politely said. Thank you so much for saving me that day. He smiled, satisfied. It was nothing. Hashiba suggested. Shall we talk inside? Let me show you the way. The scene changes to a picture of Yuna and her mother, smiling happily. Hashiba spoke once more. Thank you again for saving Yuna, she continued. I'd truly like to offer you something as a reward. He simply replied, There's no need. If you would continue to support the Hunter Management Bureau, I'd be grateful enough. This sparked her curiosity. You really care about the Bureau, don't you? But I heard you're not an official employee. Her questions caught Wang Sik's attention. He thought, that detail should be confidential. She's done her homework. Hashiba proposed, Forgive me if I've overstepped. I just thought you might want proper treatment. He understood her intent. So this isn't a reward, but an offer? Hashiba continued. I wouldn't pressure my daughter's savior. She got straight to the point. But this incident has forced me to reconsider things. The 9 Stars Corporation is planning to form an official Hunters Guild, with a guild master. She then revealed her true intention. I want a trustworthy person leading that guild. Wang Sik immediately refused. I'm sorry, but I have other goals. She couldn't help but ask, Goals? May I ask what they are? He flexed his arm, showing off his muscle. He said excitedly, I want to become Earth's hero, Video Man. Protecting the world from evil is every man's dream. His answer stunned Hashiba for a moment, then she let out a soft laugh. Wang Sik said tactfully, So while I appreciate it, I must decline. She understood. I see. My apologies for the pointless conversation. Yuna chimed in. Like the hero future Hyperman, right? All the boys in my class love him. Wang Sik was surprised. Hyperman? He seemed intrigued. Is that what kids are into now? But let me be clear. Video Man is way cooler and stronger than Hyperman. Hashiba added, But you haven't even seen Hyperman, so how would you know? He declared, Because Video Man is the best. End of discussion. The three of them continued their cheerful conversation. The scene shifts to a bright cityscape with towering skyscrapers. A phone call is happening inside that same taxi. Yes, Director, I'm on my way back. You didn't cause any trouble, did you? Of course not. The voice on the other end asked. So, how did the meeting go? That's good to hear, Wang Sik replied. She was kinder than I expected. She even said she wants to see me again, but I probably won't be at the bureau for a while. Ida hesitated. You're planning on going back there? The director probed. How many are still missing? Wang Sik replied. 71. The director advised, I won't stop you, but remember to prioritize your safety. Don't forget that. Wang Sik understood. I know. The call ended, and he hung up. The driver asked, Do you mind if I turn up the music? My favorite song is on? He replied casually, I don't mind. He listened to the music, staring thoughtfully out the window. They chatted for the entire drive. The driver asked, Are you a fan of Riel Sonozono? I am. You? I like her too. To be honest, who doesn't like her these days? This new track will definitely top the charts again. He continued. I don't even get how someone can sing like that. She doesn't seem like a normal person. The car drove on as they talked. That's a sharp intuition. It's nothing. The scene cuts to Wang Sik's secluded home in the woods. He lifted a heavy door with his bare hands. Then, he slowly descended the newly revealed stairs. Wang Sik entered a dark, underground space. He grabbed gold bars stacked neatly on a storage shelf. He moved 10 of the bars, one by one. The preparations were almost complete. All right. Wang Sik quickly donned his armor. He finished his preparations, satisfied with his work. This should be enough. Without hesitation, he moved out. It's time to go. Everyone, just hold on. I swear I'll bring you all back. North Azalon, at the Dekas mountain range. Snow completely covered the surrounding peaks. A fortress stood in the heart of the blizzard. The herb-gathering party that left 2 days ago still hadn't returned. An old soldier turned to scold the younger one beside him. Doesn't this rookie get it yet? He glanced at the snowy mountains. The Dekas range is full of enemies, like unknown monsters. It's one of the most dangerous areas around. The barrier, the edge of the frontier, is the front line that keeps things from getting in. Yet they walked right out of here and up into those mountains. That's just suicide, the young soldier stammered. But they said this was their 4th time, right? The old soldier cut him off. That same luck is what led them to their deaths. He kept his eyes fixed on the distance. If they'd had a close call before, they'd never have risked it again. Is money really worth that much? He glanced at the rookie, advising, anyway, forget about those who leave the walls. If you worry about every single one, you'll be broken before they are. The rookie sighed. Yeah, you're right. Suddenly, a soldier above them beat a warning drum. They both looked around in alarm. What's happening? Someone's approaching. A lone figure was walking through the blizzard, getting closer to the fortress. No way. Did he survive? The young soldier stared, confused. Do you know him? The old man began to explain. That young man is a living legend in this area. He's crossed the barrier more than anyone else. This must be his first time, right? The young soldier's eyes widened in shock. His first time was 2 months ago. He was in the Dekas Mountains for 2 whole months. Wang Sik dragged a massive bag, trudging forward. His chiseled, weary face and snow-white hair slowly came into view. That's why people call him a living legend. 2 massive animal carcasses, tongues lolling, were dropped to the ground, stunning the onlookers. A Dekas bear and a white-horned elk. Unbelievable. While the crowd gawked at the bodies, a guard spoke up. ID and hunting permit, please. Okay. Verified, the old soldier asked kindly. Will you be using the gate again? Wang Sik replied coldly. Yes. I'll pay the fee with this. Thank you, as always. The scene shifts to Baraton, a major city in the empire. It's a lavish place, bustling with people. Wang Sik steps out of a blue transfer gate. He walks through a city gate patrolled by soldiers. The place is loud and lively, but his silhouette seems utterly alone. On one side, a fruit vendor hands a bag of apples to a customer. On the other, children are playing and chasing each other. A little girl carrying a basket approached him. Hello, traveler. Fresh bread, just out of the oven. Want one? The little girl's eyes sparkled with an adorable smile. It's buttery and super yummy. Looking up, she froze at his ice-cold expression. Terrified, she bowed again and again. I am so sorry. Suddenly, a memory fragment pierced his mind. On this very same street, a line of prisoners were forced to march forward. Even the terrified, crying children had to keep moving. Amid the scornful jeers of onlookers, capturing 300 outsiders is a historic achievement. Look at them, trembling like frightened dogs. Do not let them fool you. They are from the demonic lands. Those men stared down the children with blood-red eyes. I hear one of them will be auctioned off later. We should buy one while it's young. That one could suit the boss's needs. The child shivered, sobbing. I am scared. I want to go home. Falling into despair, the child could only squeeze its eyes shut. Director, compared to then, Wang Sik's gaze and aura are truly terrifying now. He walked through that street, a place filled with so many painful memories. A man took a hard punch to the face as 2 fighters battled in a cage. The crowd outside roared, "Get up! Finish it!" This was a secret casino in brazen slums. The owner smiled, welcoming him. Been 2 months, huh? Welcome back. He calmly placed 2 gold bars on the table. Seeing the gleaming treasure, the old man exclaimed, "Generous as always. I see." He just crossed his arms coolly. You have kept your side of the deal so far, have you not? The old man's greedy hand reached for the gold. Of course. Our work is to fulfill our clients' desires, as long as they also fulfill ours. His hand froze, just as it was about to touch the gold. With his arms crossed, he calmly stated his terms. That item is still on the list, correct? You still remember that deal from last year? You know that kind of item is not something money can buy. Suddenly, he said something that made the old man's eyes go wide. What if I offered to trade with the Tear of Necres? His gaze was unwavering as he declared, "Everything can be traded in the black market." Those were your words. Were they not? The casino owner started sweating. "Let me see it first," he insisted firmly. "Balandra first." The old man hesitated, placing a hand on the table. "That is not something I can get immediately," he retorted. "When will you have it? When you do, I will bring what you need." The old man sighed and pulled the gold bars over. "Return here in 10 days. Then the old man placed 2 portraits on the table. "Fine. Now for our usual business. We have located these 2. He picked up the pictures in shock. Is it really them? He could not believe it, recalling 2 innocent faces from his past. Misiru and Mina, where are they now? On a deserted island in the middle of a vast ocean, close to Japan, lies Kwangshik's hideout. A shovel plunged decisively into the earth. Kwangshik was digging a coffin-shaped hole, each scoop heavy with his sorrow. They are all dead. We found their bodies dumped in a swamp. It was already too late. He gritted his teeth, but tears streamed down his face. You did well. It must have been so difficult. Small waves lapped gently against the cliff. In the twilight, 2 neat graves were erected. In front of them were 2 small bouquets. Rest peacefully here from now on. He lowered his gaze, his resolve hardening into a vow. I guarantee those murderers will pay the price. He stood silently before 10 graves, all bathed in the sun's last rays. Back in the Dekas Mountains, the fields were white with snow. Kwangshik roared wildly, cleaving a monster's head from its body. His eyes blazed with resentment as he sliced another in half. A mantis-like creature struck from behind, his eyes flashing with a sharp, blue light. His eyes turned pure white as he swung, taking its head clean off. A gentle snow began to fall. He panted, standing among blood-splattered snow, calm in a sea of corpses. He was drenched in sweat, struggling to speak. I must become stronger. Slicing open a monster's corpse, he pulled out a blue stone. This should be enough. Suddenly, his eyes flew open in shock as a brilliant light pierced his body. He shut them tight as a notification chimed. The Guardian's symbol has evolved. The Guardian's will has evolved to level 3. Chain and the Guardian's skill are 3 circles. The system alerts continued. The Guardian's mask becomes the Wild Guardian. Sense fear. Detection ring and Guardian's illusion are both unlocked to 3 circles. He looked at his hands. Gleeful. A whole year, huh? Fine. He walked on, leaving footprints in the snow. Leveling up the same day, I get Balandra. It seems my luck is finally turning. Let's go. At a heavily guarded door in the casino, sorry to have kept you waiting. The casino owner put his hand on a white cloth. Here is the real deal. He whipped the cloth away, making the boy's eyes widen in awe. A shining object made it impossible to look away. A dazzling golden suit of armor appeared. A holy relic left by history's strongest holy knight. Before his ascension, a true legendary item. Standing before the gleaming armor, he was stunned. So this is Balandra? I do not even need to appraise it. The aura alone screams mythic grade. The patterns tracing the edges are perfect, and best of all, it's gold. My favorite. The old man crossed his arms, squinting at him. Now, let me see the Tear of Necres. A necklace holding a sparkling blue stone. Although it is only an A-rank item, he pulled out the dangling necklace. All it does is let you breathe underwater. Is it truly worth trading for Balandra? Suddenly, his face tensed as he noticed something. The system rang. Tear of Necres, choose a keepsake. The sacred vow of the water god. Underwater respiration. It has an effect that is not listed here. Kwangshik stroked his chin, thinking, interesting. When I consider the choice, one that can only be seen in another world. In any case, I am quite comfortable. I am not sure this is enough. The old man's cough jolted him back to reality. My apologies. Here, you can check it. The old man pulled out a loupe to inspect the pendant. Well now, there is no doubt. All right, the deal is a success. He put on the armor, his posture immediately heroic. He excitedly examined every detail. Perfect. The system panel appeared. Balandra, passive holy shield, and the holy skill are 5 circles. Enhanced vitality and enhanced strength are 4 circles. Dark resistance is 7 circles. Active holy light, impure strike. He glanced in a specific direction. I need to test this in battle right away, and I know just the place. In a lush forest, the territory of the Great Iron, Kwangshik stood in a clearing. He raised the shield high with both hands, then slammed it down, sending dust flying. Suddenly, every bird in the forest erupted into a chaotic flight. A massive, hairy, four-fingered hand gripped a tree, snapping it in two. A colossal shadow loomed over him. A giant, purple-eyed ape stared him down. It was Dai Tiet, the ruler of this territory. He forced a grin. This was attempt number 17, but this time was different. The furious Dai Tiet opened its mouth wide, letting out a deafening roar. He used the shield to block one of its fists. Dai Tiet then unleashed a frenzied barrage of blows. He struggled to stand firm against its powerful strikes. Cold sweat covered him, but his eyes gleamed with excitement. The damage I'm taking is much lower. Is this the power of Peladra? He shoved hard, knocking the beast off balance. Now, it's my turn. He then thrust his shield towards it, the point of impact flashing with a golden light. He gritted his teeth anxiously. Every time we fight, I wonder if its hands are made of diamond or something. The beast lunged, trying to grab him. He quickly leaped back to dodge, landing a safe distance away while staring it down. So, this is a battle between two tanks, huh? Both charged forward, their fists cutting through the air. All right, let's finish this. The impact sent a cloud of dust into the sky. He held his shield forward, his eyes glowing with a deadly blue light. Dai Tiet's eyes blazed with a fierce purple light, its mouth open to reveal sharp fangs. The shockwave from their clash bent the surrounding trees. From treetops to branches, everything was blown away. 2 hours later, they were both sent flying from a final collision. He was pushed back, skidding across the ground. Dai Tiet also struggled, needing 3 limbs just to stay upright. Both of them fell to their knees, a moment of silence passing between them. The enraged beast beat its chest and roared. Wang Sik was no better off. Damn it, this is endless. He sighed in frustration. It seemed to be another draw. Dai Tiet let out a breath, as if in agreement. The sky today was incredibly clear. If one had kept fighting until the other yielded, a victor would have been decided. But the winner would have been completely exhausted. Dai Tiet turned and walked away, leaving him to his thoughts. I still need to save my strength for the trip back, and it needs to protect its title as area boss. Our battles always end like this. He could only turn and leave as well. Even so, your attacks don't work on me anymore, you hear? You need to get much stronger. If not, I might just beat you next time. Suddenly, something came flying toward him. He caught it instinctively, only to see it was a giant banana. Watching Dai Tiet's retreating figure made him hesitate. Is this your way of acknowledging me? He clutched the banana in his hand. He was incredibly excited. For real? At this rate, I might actually become friends with monsters. In the middle of the forest stood a small wooden house. The phone showed 27 missed calls from the director. Ugh, crap. I missed so many calls. Wang Sik immediately called back. Is something happening at the Hunters Bureau? A frantic scream erupted from the phone, forcing him to pull it away. Help me! He put a hand on his hip, puzzled. Now what? Is there another problem? It's huge. His expression turned serious at the next words he heard. Hana just left the Black Heaven Guild. Edda spoke with intense focus. Really? Yes, this is a great opportunity for us to scout an A-rank hunter. Remembering the girl with the fiery red hair, he was stunned by the next sentence. So please help me convince her. Wang Sik stood with his hands on his hips, aghast. You want me to recruit Min Hana? Do you think that sounds even remotely reasonable? What kind of crazy person would willingly join the Hunters Bureau? The voice replied. After leaving Black Heaven, do you know where Min Hana went first? Then Ida's voice grew excited. It was the Hunters Bureau, our place. The director kept rambling. She asked a lot of questions about you. Seems like she's very interested in you. Wang Sik glanced away coldly. Yeah, right. She probably just wants to return the cloak. Ida leaned back in his chair casually. Oh, is that so? Then why not just leave the cloak there? Instead, she took it with her and said she would return it to you herself. Wait, why? Even from the back, you could see he was completely indignant. Whatever, we'll talk later. Wait. And next time, don't call me 27 times. I thought it was a real emergency. He coldly hung up on the director's complaints. If this isn't a big deal, then what is? Wang Sik opened his safe and stared at the glowing item inside. Gold bars were stacked neatly within. The gold is running low. I'll have to sell more mana stones. There sat a sparkling, rhombus-shaped blue stone. Mana stones hold the crystallized life force from the monsters of the Azalan continent. The higher their purity, the higher their price. The mana stones Wang Sik personally mined from the Dakas Mountains were considered top grade. Wang Sik picked up the phone to make another call. Hello, I want to sell some mana stones. This time, it's about 20 kilograms. Oh, that's quite a lot. The other party's condition surprised him. But can we pay after we've sold them? We need to adjust the commission rate a bit. The broker propped his feet on the desk arrogantly. Lately, the global supply of mana stones has been surging. I hope you can understand. I'm also running around everywhere trying to move stock, so at the current price, there's almost no profit. The situation is very difficult. He rubbed his fingers together. Of course, if you find this unacceptable and want to reconsider, there's nothing I can do. But as for someone who can handle such a large quantity discreetly, a sly grin appeared on his face. In Korea, there's no one else but me. You know that. Wang Sik closed his eyes and thought. A moment later, he said flatly, "Fine, we're done here." The man panicked, breaking into a cold sweat. "Sir?" Wang Sik's voice was firm on the other end. "It sounds like you think I'm using monostones for money laundering. We won't be doing business anymore. Goodbye." The man shot up from his chair to explain. Wait, sir. I'll keep the commission rate the same." The man kept rambling. "No, I'll lower it even more. Even more. I'll take care of everything." Wang Sik sighed. "The only reason I dealt with this place was for anonymity. It's time for a change." As he pondered, he remembered two girls, one older, one younger. "Ah, I recall that the Guseong group also runs a monostone exchange. The people there are quite trustworthy. I should pay them a visit." The scene changes to a large building, where a four-eyed employee holds the crystal with both hands, his mouth agape in shock. Kwang Shich noticed him trembling and asked, "What's going on?" The man lifted the crystal high, then vanished in a flash. "D-Director, sir," inside the building's VIP room, marked by gold lettering. A paper was pushed forward the appraisal results. The director placed his hands on his lap. A rank 6 mana crystal. That's the highest quality, second only to a rank 7 from a boss monster. He asked, "You've traded at other places before, correct?" "Every 2 months, 20 kilograms. Kwang Shicha's eyes widened in shock. "How did you know?" The man began to sweat as he explained. "We've been monitoring this for a while, but we've never met the seller. Someone who can move high-quality mana crystals in such large quantities. In all of Korea, that could only be you, Kwang Shish." He bowed with deep respect. "You'll receive our highest VIP treatment, and I, the director, will personally support you. So please, choose to work with our Gusong group." "What's so special about being a VIP?" The four-eyed employee suddenly jumped into the conversation. "There are quite a few benefits. To put it simply, with just one phone call, a dedicated team will handle all transactions and procedures." He kept listing off the conditions. "We also provide an escrow account and a private vault for storing the mana crystals." His eyes lit up with interest. "That sounds good." This service was leagues above dealing with brokers. He spoke cautiously, hands clasped together. "I have one condition. I want my personal information kept to a minimum, and payment must be in high-purity gold bars. Is that possible?" The director spread his arms wide. "That's not a problem at all. Of course, it's possible. If you have any other requests, please ask any time." The two of them shook hands. "All right, let's try one transaction first. If everything goes smoothly, I'll grant your group exclusive rights. We are truly grateful." A group of people bowed deeply to him, making him sigh. He felt smart, but also like he'd been taken for a ride. "I should have come here from the start." Suddenly, the phone in his pocket rang. Kwang Shich answered without a moment's hesitation. "Hello?" The director on the other end asked. "Kwang Shich, have you met Hana yet?" He was bewildered. "Huh? Wait, why would I need to meet her?" The director yelled back. "Hey, why are you asking that? You promised you'd help me recruit Hana for the Hunter Management Bureau, remember?" His pupils constricted in confusion. "What? Even if I planned on helping, we should have at least scheduled a meeting first." "Well, you know." The director's tone sharpened. "We track all our agents' locations in case of an emergency." He put one hand in his pocket, his tone cold. "So what?" Just as the director spoke his next words, Hana appeared right behind him. "I think this qualifies as an emergency. I already told Hana where you are." She offered him a brilliant smile. "Hello." He turned, forcing a smile onto his face and waving. "Ah, yes." Turning to the side, his face darkened, his eyes flashing a dangerous blue. "I'm hanging up. We'll talk later." Suddenly, they both faced each other and bowed respectfully. She spoke first. "I'm sorry about this. I wanted to thank you in person, so I asked the chief for a little help. Thank you for saving me last time. I accept your thanks." She handed him a paper bag. "The cloak you lent me was very helpful." He reached out and took it. "Ah, yes. Finally, I can coordinate my gear with Faradora's set." The setting sun cast long shadows over the skyscrapers. "If you have the time, would you let me treat you to a meal? I'm always ready. Let's go." A sharp knife sliced through a juicy steak, when suddenly Hana froze, staring intently at Kwang Shish. The two of them ate, overlooking a panoramic city view. She asked curiously, Aren't you going to try and recruit me for the Hunter Management Bureau? I thought the chief asked you to persuade me. He cut her off mid-sentence. When you see the chief, just tell him I tried my absolute best. She pressed. You're not going to try and convince me at all? He calmly put a piece of steak in his mouth. I don't have the nerve to recruit anyone to a place called the Hunter's Graveyard. Her hand was still frozen, mid-cut. Full of doubt, she asked. Is the Hunter Management Bureau really that bad? He explained. Well, it used to be the largest government agency. Now it's an outcast, with no real support. He pictured someone being singled out, dragged into a van while sweating bullets from pure fear. At incident sites, they're looked down on by other guilds. They don't have enough equipment, the work is extremely dangerous, and the pay is garbage. Who but a fool would work there? She listened intently before questioning him. Are you saying the Hunter Management Bureau is full of fools? He blinked, admitting it instantly. Exactly. He gazed out at the magnificent city before them. Fools willing to risk their lives just to protect people. And those who've woken up, but can't leave because of their heavy sense of duty. In short, the Hunter Management Bureau is a gathering place for those kinds of people. She lowered her gaze, a small smile playing on her lips. I see. Suddenly, an alarm blared from his pocket. He looked at his phone screen, which flashed a red alert. Dungeon break. Sorry, but I have to go. A dungeon just broke. Hana shot up from her seat as well. I'm going with you. She looked at him with sincerity. It's a dungeon break, right? In an emergency like this, anyone who can help should. Wang Sik gave her a smile of approval. As he started to walk, she fell into step right behind him. Let's go. Night had fallen over Pyeongtaek in Gyeonggi province, and military helicopters swarmed the sky. Soldiers were directing civilians to safety. Jungjin spotted them and cheered. Hunter B? I thought you were on long-term absence. Then, a second later, he recoiled in shock. Huh? Hunter Hana is here too? So? What's the situation? He quickly regained his composure and reported, nothing unusual has occurred yet. We assumed Hunter B couldn't make it, so we followed standard protocol. She then asked, and what is the standard protocol? Cheon Chang's guild was also on site. He explained that when a dungeon break occurs, command is transferred to the strongest regional guild. Today, that's the Hero Guild. He sweat, embarrassed. Truth is, without Hunter B, our Hunter Management Bureau can't handle these situations alone. Command has already been transferred? Jungjin pointed. The team leader is in the command center, finalizing the last of the paperwork. Wang Sik started walking. Then I still have some authority, don't I? Hana gave a skeptical glance. The Hero Guild's leader is Chon Chun, correct? I've heard he has a terrible reputation. And you're not going to stop him? He just smiled back. It's all right. You'll see for yourself. Only then did he look at her retreating back with curiosity. So, Hunter Hana, what brings you here? She softly replied. I'm here for training. He stared, completely baffled as she turned back with a gentle smile. The Hunter Management Bureau just caught my interest. I hope you'll all take care of me. In classroom C, Seo Ong Chan, in a blue cloak, stood before a large map, briefing the crowd. He stated, that concludes the briefing. Are there any questions? Seo Ong Chan then sternly commanded. If not, the operation begins in 1 hour. Until then, return to your posts and await orders. Dismissed. Hearing this, Wang Sik spoke from the side. Are you the one in charge here? Seo Ong Chan turned, surprised, and asked, Who are you? Wang Sik met his gaze calmly. I'm with the Hunter Management Bureau. The Bureau will start immediately, and I'll transfer command authority to you in 1 hour. At this, Seo Ong Chan stared, completely stunned. Not believing his ears, he stammered, Are you joking? Wang Sik simply replied, Is there a problem? You yourself said you'd deploy in an hour, so taking over command until then is fine. Hearing this, Seo Ong Chan's eyes widened. Are you mocking me? Who does the Hunter Management Bureau think it is to control this situation? We're facing 20 A-rank and 50 B-rank monsters flooding the area, and we don't have a single A-rank hunter. We only have B and C rankers. This is hopeless. Hearing this, Wang Sik calmly met his gaze and said, I'm not interested in your games of rank. If you don't trust us, why not start now? Seo Ong Chan's anger flared. You bastard. But Wang Sik casually cut him off. In 1 hour, thousands will die while you're all wasting time. Suddenly, Seo Ong Chan's gaze sharpened as a cold smile formed on his lips. He gloated before Wang Sik, ordering everyone, Listen up. The Hero Organization will begin its operation in 2 hours. Hearing the command, everyone roared, Yes, sir. Watching the scene, Wang Sik calmly thought, 1 hour means 1,000 deaths, so then, what about 2 hours? Suddenly, Seo Ong Chan shoved a finger into his chest, sneering, The people who could have been saved. In 1 hour. He smirked provocatively at Wang Sik. Their deaths will be on you, you bastard. Understand? Now get lost. I'll personally take care of your corpse later. Night fell. Wang Sik, now in golden armor, gave his orders. Melee hunters, you're on rescue detail. Ranged hunters, with me. We're exterminating monsters. He smiled faintly. Let's move out. In an hour or two, the others will have nothing left to do. At his command, everyone moved out. Hana ran up beside Wang Sik and asked, "Wait, we're just going in without a detailed plan?" He replied calmly. Real men charged straight ahead. Hana hesitated, asking, "And what about women?" Wang Sik glanced at her and answered bluntly, "They charge right in, too." Hana was taken aback, a little worried, thinking, he jokes like some old man. She watched Wang Sik jesting with a rescue worker. "You agree, right?" The rescuer replied, "That was a top-tier joke." Hana sighed inwardly. So cheesy. It's like we're at a company dinner party. The scene shifts to a burning town, thick with smoke. A sobbing boy, trapped and terrified, cried out, "Mommy!" Suddenly, a monster appeared. Its eyes glowed red, its fangs sharp. It stared hungrily, making the boy flinch in terror. It lunged, jaws wide, ready to devour him whole. As its piercing roar echoed, Wang Sik appeared, striking the monster and shielding the boy. Just then, the rescue team arrived. Wang Sik turned to them urgently. "Rescue team, get everyone to a safe location," a shout warned Wang Sik. "Hunter Wang Sik. A horde is approaching from the front." A swarm of giant monsters headed right for him. Seeing this, everyone rushed forward, ready to fight. Wang Sik roared, "Let's begin. You all know the drill, right?" They responded in unison. "Yes, sir." With that, Wang Sik charged forward, using his red finger ring to chain the giant monsters before him. The team combined their strength, letting out a war cry. All-out attack. A crimson blast slammed into a monster, making it shriek in pain. Hana watched the battle from the sidelines. She was stunned by their powerful and coordinated attack, thinking, Wang Sik binds the monsters, and the ranged hunters focus their fire to finish them off. A simple, but effective hunter's tactic. Watching them fight, she acknowledged that Wang Sik was skilled, but the team's coordination was just as impressive. They worked in perfect sync, some fighting, others rescuing. She realized that back in Black Heaven, saving people was only a secondary objective. Looting the spoils was the only thing that mattered. Her gaze filled with admiration. So this is where the real hunters have gathered. Suddenly, a wall shattered inward. Through the thick dust, a massive monster charged, aiming for a nearby hunter. Luckily, Hana reacted instantly, striking the monster down to save the hunter. He looked at her gratefully. "Hunter Hana, you saved my life." She gave a small smile. "It's nothing, Sunbae. I'm just a rookie, so please speak comfortably." Her use of Sunbae seemed to surprise the hunter. "Huh? Sunbae?" Meanwhile, Wang Sik cut down one monster after another. He stood tall and declared, "I believe it's time to end this." Suddenly, a voice called out, "Hunter Wang Sik." A rescuer rushed up behind him frantically. "I've found a vacant lot nearby." Hearing this, he replied, "Excellent. Let's move." They hurried to a nearby construction site, where an excavator sat in the lot, but no one was around. Seeing the quiet, open space, Wang Sik commanded, "This place is perfect. Everyone, get into position." They immediately obeyed. "Yes, sir." Then, Wang Sik's expression darkened, and a cold mist escaped his lips. He let out a ferocious roar as a crimson aura erupted around him. It was a roar fueled by pure hatred. And just like that, giant monsters and bloodthirsty wolves with glowing red eyes appeared. Hearing his cry, they startled and turned to face him. Then, with a furious roar, they charged, surrounding Wang Sik with palpable bloodlust. Watching the ferocious horde approach, Wang Sik was pleased. A cunning smile spread across his face as he coldly said, "Thanks for accepting my invitation. Is everyone here?" He then growled, "Then let's go all out." Wang Sik unleashed his chain ring technique, binding them all at once with chains and collars. From above, Hana heard Wang Sik's voice. "Miss Hana." He looked up at her and yelled, "Lend me your strongest attack." Startled, she replied, "What?" Hana shouted hesitantly. "You're not underestimating my magic, are you? If you're not careful, you'll get caught in it too." Suddenly, a female hunter behind her offered encouragement. "It's the only way to end this quickly. This happens all the time. You should trust B-rank hunter Wang Sik." She was surprised by those words. Another person chimed in, "We finally get to see Hunter Hana's skills. What a lucky day." Seeing this, she stammered, "No, what I mean is..." The chained monster roared in fury, glaring up at Hana. Suddenly, A brilliant red light flared to life. The monster flinched in surprise. She summoned a massive fireball that lit up the sky, muttering, "Fine, I don't care anymore." The monsters stared in stunned silence. Hana swung her arm with all her might, shouting, "There's no stopping it now. You're on your own." In the next instant, her power shot downwards, right where Wang Sik and the monsters stood. Seeing the immense power approach, Wang Sik smirked to himself. Her power relentlessly pierced through towards them, engulfing everything in a crimson glow. One by one, the monsters were incinerated by Hana's magic, screaming in agony as they burned. Her attack systematically slammed into each monster, burning them away until they vanished into ash and ember. After a moment, her power finally faded. As things returned to normal, thick smoke filled the air. Exhausted, Hana let out a deep sigh of relief. But then, suddenly, Wang Sik emerged powerfully from the smoke, completely unharmed, and praised her, "Are you a monster?" Later that night, at Soong-chan's camp, Wang Sik and Hana approached him. Seeing them, he sneered sarcastically. "What's this? Finally decided to run away? I thought you had the guts to die, but you're all talk." He glanced at his phone and chuckled. What to do? So many civilians are probably still being killed right now. Too bad the hero organization won't act for another hour and 8 minutes. So now what? Soong-chan looked at them and grunted, "Humph. If the Hunter Management Bureau wants to compensate us for insulting the hero organization." Before he could finish, a loud voice interrupted. "The gate situation has been resolved." Hearing that, Soong-chan was rendered speechless. Not believing his ears, he stammered, "What was that?" Wang Sik sighed in annoyance. "I wondered what nonsense you were spouting. Turns out you just haven't received the update yet." He chuckled softly. "The dungeon break has just been handled by the Bureau." Soong-chan was stunned into silence. Wang Sik turned to leave, not forgetting a final taunt. "You guys can wait your hour and then go collect the bodies. Maybe you'll be of some use then." Hearing this, Soong-chan angrily gritted his teeth. A soldier behind him stuttered, Captain." Furious and humiliated, he roared, "Damn it." Wang Sik and Hana just smirked, ignoring him. Hana laughed and said to Wang Sik, "I'm starving after that fight. Let's grab a bite before we move on." Wang Sik grinned and replied, "Sounds great. My treat this time." On a wide road, a taxi sped along with Wang Sik inside, casually listening to the news on the radio. To recruit Hana, who just left the COULDN organization, major guilds have made incredible offers, sparking a fierce bidding war for her. At that moment, Ida was beaming, shaking her hand for the press photos, but in a surprising twist, she chose the Hunter Management Bureau, an outcome no one could have imagined. Leaving the other organizations stunned and disappointed, Hana smiled, full of confidence. When the media asked why she chose the Bureau, she happily told them. Her answer was simple: "I want to live a cool life." Hearing that, he smiled, satisfied, looking out the window. Suddenly, a sound echoed in his mind. Wang Sik detected a tremor. He lunged forward frantically, telling the driver, "Driver, take me to the National Central Library. Now." The startled driver agreed. "Oh, yes sir. Next." Wang Sik quickly called Minje. The boy answered. "Hyung?" he asked urgently. "Minje, are you okay? What's the situation?" The boy replied calmly, "It's probably not that serious." Wang Sik urged anxiously, "I'm on my way. Just hold on a little longer." Minje answered hesitantly, "Hyung, I'm sorry. It's because of me." He cut him off, trying to reassure him. "Don't say that. Call me immediately if anything happens, okay?" Wang Sik hung up, his mind in turmoil. At the central library, warning sirens blared relentlessly. A young man rushed inside, urging the crowd, "Everyone, evacuate now." A surprised girl exclaimed, "The Hell's Gate guys again? I've lost count of how many times it's been." She started running. "What? Is there an S-rank treasure hidden here or something?" A brown-haired young man ran after her. They never managed to steal anything, yet they keep targeting the library. Meanwhile, in the restroom area, loud crashes echoed repeatedly. A masked man angrily swung a hammer down. "This is driving me crazy." He brought the hammer down with a direct blow. A flash of light erupted as it shattered, and yet it wasn't even scratched. The masked man complained wearily. "Damn it, why is it so tough?" His partner remarked. "An S-rank item, for sure. Time's up. Let's scram before the Bureau gets here." The cocoon remained silent until they left. Only then did Minje dissolve the protective layer, revealing himself inside. He slowly stood up, brushing the dust off his clothes. The boy sadly blamed himself. "I caused more damage to the library again." Just then, Wang Sik rushed in frantically, calling his name. "Minje!" The boy leaped into his arms, hugging him tightly. "Isn't this a little suffocating?" Wang Sik asked gently. Min-jae held on, giggling as he replied. I like this. It reminds me of 3 years ago. When you hugged me like this, you said, "Welcome home." He smiled brightly, reminiscing. I was so emotional back then. Then I looked up and saw us surrounded by bureau agents. The boy added cheerfully, Yeah, we were both scared to death back then. Wang Sik asked with concern. Are you hurt anywhere? Min-jae took off his hat, replying casually, Nope. He revealed a blistered scalp. It's because I have this. This helmet is King Double Ganzer's crown. It creates a protective cocoon when there's danger. Seeing Min-jae put the hat back on, he felt satisfied. I gave you that to protect you, but now it's putting you in more danger. The boy replied calmly, Come on, Hyung, don't say that. The helmet then transformed into a warm beanie. Without it, I probably wouldn't be alive right now. Inside the restroom, Min-jae spoke grimly. Bro, I have to quit. Rumors must be spreading, because the Hell's Gate Guild keeps showing up. I'm fine, but others are getting hurt. Wang Sik ruffled the kid's hair. Yeah, it's time you left. Then he added calmly. Changing libraries won't solve this. A panicked Min-jae asked. So what should I do? I can't just quit my job at the library. The boy's face twisted in pain. You know, if I don't read, the headaches are agonizing. It all began with a sorcerer's twisted research. The one who cursed Minza's brain was a mage from the northern border of the Azalan continent. He specialized in creating mutant creatures, a madman who used slaves for his deranged experiments and breeding purposes. Now, the boy suffers from eternal, torturous headaches, a result of those cruel experiments that left Minza in constant agony. If his brain isn't stimulated for too long, the pain intensifies, he loses consciousness, and eventually, he will die. Even Wang Sik was one of his victims, nearly dying from his experiments. His face darkened with rage. Letting him die easily was a mistake. Just then, his phone rang with a sharp chime. Wang Sik answered immediately. Speak. The caller reported they'd found the culprit and were in a direct confrontation. He calmly instructed, I'm on my way. Hold him off for a little longer. Then he turned to the boy. Wait for me. Pack your things while I'm gone. I've prepared something you'll like, so don't worry. Minza looked puzzled. What is it? Wang Sik just smiled. I'll tell you when I get back. You can look forward to it. The scene shifts to a parking garage, where security guards are chasing down members of Hell's Gate. Stop and surrender now. The two masked men were cornered. Damn it, it's a dead end. One of them pointed out frantically. Wait, look closely. Aren't they just security guards? The other masked man paused. Huh. They exchanged glances. Security? They're just bottom feeders. Damn, and I was actually scared for a second. Let's just kill them all. One of them sparked with power, his slow advance causing the guards to panic. One guard yelled in fear, Captain! The captain immediately shouted, Everyone, run! But the masked man was too fast, electrocuting 3 of them in an instant. The guards collapsed, completely drained of strength. The attacker sneered arrogantly. These fools thought everyone from Hell's Gate was a pushover. Did you really think we were just some street thugs? His partner stepped forward. Well, you can't blame them. To them, we're just the guys who got shaken down by a kid and ran. The first one chimed in, maybe you should just quit your jobs and become hunters in our organization. Seeing the captain still trembling, he raised a hammer. Damn it, shut up and let's end this. Suddenly, 2 golden chains shot out, binding both Hell's Gate members tightly. One of them screamed in shock. What? What the hell is this? Wang Sik pulled them forward. You know the rules, don't you? If a Hell's Gate member dies while being restrained, no one asks questions. Right? The 2 masked men struggled furiously. Who are you? He slowly approached them. I'm the one asking the questions here. If you want to live, you'd better cooperate. Wang Sik's face was a chilling mask. Who sent you? Answer now, or your bones will break. The man he held stammered, No, nobody. Nobody sent us. Wang Sik's expression turned to ice as he tightened his grip, making the man scream in agony. He stated coldly, The kneecap is next. Who sent you? Desperate screams echoed through the empty parking garage. Seeing the man had passed out, Wang Sik grumbled in disgust. Fainted already? They don't seem like petty criminals. He then turned to the other one. All right then. Wang Sik stepped on his face, his voice like steel. You get one chance, he demanded grimly. Who is behind this? The man stammered in fear. That is. Wang Sik gave him no more time, pressing his foot down harder. The man cried out in pain, his breath ragged. To save his own life, he finally confessed. It was the general manager. The general manager gave the order. Wang Sik was skeptical. The general manager? The man quickly confirmed. Yes. He said it was a birthday gift for the chairman. The injured security captain struggled to speak. If it's the general manager, he's probably talking about Yoon Jun. Hearing this, Kwang Shich asked, "Who is Yoon Jun?" The captain explained, "He's Dong Chio's most trusted subordinate. Have you heard that name before?" Realization dawned on Kwang Shich. "You mean the chairman of the Daekang group? That arrogant bastard. Dong Chio, an A-rank assassin. Starting from an organization called Daekang, he's now the chairman of a famous construction company and one of the most powerful Hell's Gates in Korea. He not only controls the entire underworld of Hell's Gates, but he also does the dirty work for powerful, high-ranking politicians. The power behind him is immense." Hearing this information, Kwang Shich's voice filled with rage. Those bastards dared to touch. "Minza? Does this Dong Chio have any crimes proven with hard evidence?" The security captain quickly replied. "Yes. In his secret safe, there's a ledger. That's the decisive proof. But his backing is so strong that getting a search warrant is nearly impossible." The captain said despairingly that, even with an emergency arrest, the Hunter Management Bureau alone couldn't touch someone like him. As Kwang Shich walked away, he left one final sentence. "Then that's perfect." His face was grim and determined. "It's time for a promotion." The captain was stunned. "What?" The scene changes to Daekang's headquarters. Kwang Shich and Zhang Jin stood below the main office. Zhang Jin looked up at the skyscraper, explaining, "The building has a total of 20 floors. From floor 1 to 14, it's like a normal company. But from floor 15 and up are Dong Chio's private soldiers, all from Hell's Gate." Zhang Jin's face was bruised and scratched. He looked at Kwang Shich and continued, "The chairman's office, where we suspect the Black Ledger is kept, is on the 20th floor." Kwang Shich coolly put his hands in his pockets. He started walking and gave a simple command, "Get all available agents on standby." Zhang Jin was flustered. "Are you going in right now? What about backup?" Kwang Shich cut him off. "Not necessary. I can handle it myself." He turned back, radiating absolute confidence. "You guys can just come in and clean up the mess later." Moments later, he stood before an elevator. Looking inside, he muttered to himself, "The 20th floor, huh?" Stepping inside, Kwang Shich felt something was off and looked down. The elevator panel only showed 14 floors. Was that the highest it went? He knew it was a cheap trick. Soon, he arrived on the 14th floor. Upon arriving, his voice caught a guard's attention. The man shot him a warning look. "This isn't a place for just anyone. You know that?" Kwang Shich completely ignored him. He calmly walked closer and asked, "I need to get to the 20th floor. Which way?" The guard was stunned by his audacity. The shock faded fast. The guard's face hardened. "Who are you with?" Kwang Shich replied instantly, "The Hunter Management Bureau." The guard pressed on. "Do you have a warrant?" "No," he said. Hearing that, the man's face twisted in rage. "Then I suggest you leave. Don't cause trouble here." Of course, Kwang Shich ignored him and headed for the stairwell. 6 floors. I guess I'll walk." The guard panicked, rushing to stop him. "Stop! Who gave you permission?" He lost all composure, grabbing Kwang Shich's shoulder frantically. "You crazy bastard. I told you to stop." Before the guard could even react, Kwang Shich grabbed his face. A loud crack echoed. He slammed the man's head straight into the floor. With that handled, he walked on coolly, adding, "The reception service here is terrible." Before he reached the next floor, a group of men blocked him. One rushed down, shouting, "Who the hell are you?" Kwang Shich's face was a blank mask. "A contract employee." The thugs all looked aggressive. Their leader sneered, "You know this is a lawless zone from here up, right? One more step and you're dead." Kwang Shich was unfazed by the pathetic threat. He shot back, "I don't have time to play gangster with a bunch of street thugs. Speaking of trash, is Rong Xiao here?" Hearing this, the leader's face darkened with fury. He spat a curse at him. "Are you insane?" he yelled, then ordered his subordinate, "Hey, take him out. Some nobody waltzes in here alone and dares to act tough." The man obeyed instantly. He conjured a fireball, an excited, cruel grin spreading across his face as he prepared to attack. He launched the fireball right at Kwang Shich, and an explosion erupted. The brown-haired thug didn't realize what was happening. Still full of arrogance, he complained, "Hey, you got the wall dirty." The black-haired man, thinking he'd won, replied smugly, "Well, now we don't have to dispose of a body, just sweep up the ashes." Suddenly, Kwang Shich's voice cut in, startling them both. Hunter Management Act, Article 21, Section 2. Bureau employees may use lethal force against Hell's Gate when deemed necessary, for self-defense. As the smoke cleared, it revealed Kwang Shich, now clad in full combat armor. His voice was steady. "I was attacked with intent to kill, and I have clearly stated my authority as an agent of the Bureau. A dense killing intent radiated from him, his eyes flashing with rage. From this moment, anyone who attacks me will be dealt with without mercy. If you're confident, you can kill me. Seeing Wang Sik's new form, the men panicked. Curses filled the air. A moment later, the furious mob charged straight for Wang Sik. Get him! An iron chain glowing with golden energy suddenly snaked out, wrapping around a thug's neck. More chains appeared, choking the others into silence. Wang Sik stood tall, his voice booming. Anyone else with a death wish, step forward. As he fought, alarms blared, followed by the sound of frantic footsteps. Panicked voices cried out, "Damn it, what's happening? It's just one guy." Waves of men attacked him as one of them yelled, "The attacks aren't working. Use your strongest skills, just don't destroy the building." Devastating blows rained down on him but left no mark. They screamed in frustration. "What the hell is he? Just die already." Fear began to creep in. A man yelled, "He's heading for the chairman's office. Stop him at all costs." Now, hundreds of men surrounded Wang Sik. Desperate, they shouted, "Get him! Use your bodies as a shield if you have to." He stood among them without a trace of fear. He remained as immovable as a statue, while they attacked in vain. They roared, "Aim for the gaps in his armor. Why won't it break? It's clearly just B-rank gear." By now, Wang Sik had lost his patience. He paused, then quietly activated his skill. Dark blow. All the light began to bend toward him. In the blink of an eye, the entire area was plunged into darkness. Only Wang Sik's armor glowed. The men panicked. "What's this? Why did everything go black?" Without warning, he unleashed a terrifying wave of energy. The light was so blinding that one man had to shield his eyes and cry out, "What the hell is this light?" And just like that, it vanished, leaving the man to question his own reality. The crowd that had surrounded Wang Sik was gone. Only smoldering ashes remained where they had stood. Unconcerned, he strode through the door. A lone survivor collapsed to the ground in sheer terror. He couldn't believe what he'd just seen. After a while, Wang Sik reached his destination. A voice called out, well, you made it all the way here? Not bad at all. So, what business does the Management Bureau have with us?" The speaker was none other than Rong Chio, director of the Daikang Company, with his secretary by his side, Secretary Egsa. Wang Sik eyed the man in the chair. "You're Rong Chio?" Hearing the blatant disrespect, Secretary Za's face soured. "You bastard!" he cursed, drawing a sword wreathed in blue flame. He stepped forward. "Do you have any idea where you are? How dare you say the chairman's name so lightly?" Wang Sik was as calm as ever. "So you must be Secretary Za," he replied. Wang Sik's voice dropped. "You're the one who keeps using Rong Chio's birthday as an excuse to go and harass Minja, aren't you?" Sensing the killing intent, Secretary Asa simply sneered. "Minja? Oh, that kid from Double Ganser with the crab crown?" He charged, swinging his blade. "I bet the little brat cried to some scary thug like you to teach us a lesson, right?" Wang Sik effortlessly blocked the blow with his shield. He immediately countered, a chain shooting from his arm. Secretary Za was no slouch, dodging the strike. The two exchanged blows in an instant. Rong Chio took a drag from his cigarette, looking bored. "Secretary Sa, stop showing off. Just finish this." Secretary Sa immediately obeyed. "My apologies, Chairman. I will handle this now." As he spoke, power surged. His sword glowed green, unleashing a wind blade with a sharp hiss. He moved like the wind, stabbing straight for Wang Sik. But the boy calmly waited for the blade before delivering a light blow from his shield. The sword shattered into pieces. The secretary gasped in disbelief. "Huh." Before he could react, Wang Sik sent a fist into his face. He slammed into the wall, scattering everything. Suddenly, Zhang Qiu appeared from behind, whispering in his ear, "The SA department is making a mess over some damn birthday gift." Wang Sik reacted instantly, spinning to attack, but struck only empty air. The room fell silent, leaving Wang Sik alone. Out of nowhere, an attack flew at him, but he managed to dodge it. A sudden strike flashed past, too fast to block. Then a barrage of light beams rained down, forcing Wang Sik onto the defensive. He regained his composure, his eyes glowing as he tracked the beams. There was no fear in his gaze, only calm determination. Using his ability, he quickly grabbed Zhang Qiu. "Got you." But the man was no amateur, dissolving like smoke to reappear behind him. "Impressive, Henry. Coming here alone is bold. But it's useless if you can't even land a hit." Wang Sik unleashed his chain and shot back. "Doesn't that apply to both of us?" Zhang Qiu dodged effortlessly. "True, but I'm not just a swordsman." As he spoke, from nowhere, 4 purple orbs appeared, their chains wrapping tightly around Wang Sik. The SA secretary controlled them from behind. Seeing him trapped, he smirked. Chairman, we've captured him. Seizing the moment, Zhang Qiu's hands ignited with sinister red flames. He spoke slowly. It's been a while since I've used this. Stealth is my specialty. But this move, Lunar Eclipse Flame, is my masterpiece. As he spoke, the fire shot from his hands onto Wang Sik. He felt the searing pain, struggling against his bonds. Zhang Qiu's voice was confident. This flame won't go out until its target is burned to ash. A cruel glint appeared in his eyes as his wicked smile grew. You seem confident in that armor of yours, but you'll just die a slow, painful death. Then, Zhang Qiu casually sat down to watch Wang Sik burn. Now, time to relax and watch the fire. Ah, it's been a while since I've enjoyed a show like this. A moment later, the secretary spoke. He's tougher than I thought. It'll probably take a few days to burn him completely. Zhang Qiu casually scolded his subordinate. Anyway, I know you wanted to get me a birthday present, but this seems a bit excessive. The man, bruised and dirty, bowed respectfully. My apologies, Chairman. The SA secretary looked up. He said hesitantly, I just thought the crown of King Double Ganser would be a worthy addition to your collection. Zhang Qiu asked, Is that an A-rank item? He replied, It's an S-rank, sir. Hearing this, the man's interest was piqued, and he slowly sat up. S-rank, you say? Zhang Qiu walked to a bookshelf and entered a code. A hidden room appeared. Inside were priceless treasures Zhang Qiu had collected. It's been a while. I should make some room for it. The SA secretary held up a phone. Pointing to it, he said, I've already sent someone to retrieve it. The man showed his satisfaction with a slight nod. The chained Wang Sik suddenly scoffed, asking about its rank before you even know what it is. How pathetic. The man wasn't angered, replying casually, And you, who only sees rank, are you any better for judging me? Zhang Qiu walked to a glass case. Let me tell you about the most precious item in my collection, the Holy Sword of Mendex. After this, you might rethink your opinion of me. He began his story. Its original name was the Spike of Hatred. A single touch would inflict a curse of decay, killing you within a day. He lifted the sword, his face ecstatic. But when I found it, my heart truly pounded. Imagine it, a cursed S-rank item. If I could break the curse and unlock its true nature, how powerful would it become? Zhang Qiu continued, filled with satisfaction. I sacrificed about 3 appraisal experts to find the solution. The method was simpler than I expected. He revealed a shocking truth that stunned Wang Sik. Within 1 month, 1,000 people had to be cursed by this blade. A memory sparked in the boy's mind. A recent news report about a mysterious plague in Seoul's elementary schools. The total number of victims had reached 1,000. They explained the cause and transmission route of something called the stationary fever. It had led to the deaths of many children, but the case was never solved. As understanding dawned, Wang Sik's face contorted with rage. His eyes blazed with pure hatred. In disbelief, he asked Zhang Qiu, the stationary fever. Was that you? The man replied as if it were nothing. Oh, that's right. That's what the public called it. Brings back memories. Zhang Qiu recalled, I went around organizing a sword-pulling game in front of schools. I gave out prizes like game consoles and toys, attracting tons of kids. He flashed a monstrous, inhuman grin. Ah, don't misunderstand me. I'm not evil. I was simply optimizing efficiency. Holding it right at the school gates meant more participation than doing it on the streets. Zhang Qiu continued. Hearing this, Wang Sik could no longer hold back. His eyes darkened, overflowing with killing intent. But the man didn't care, remaining arrogant. It was quite interesting. After all that work breaking the curse, the sword became a D-rank item. D-rank, but with no actual abilities. It's just a shiny decoration. Zhang Qiu kept boasting. Even so, to me, it's the most precious piece in my collection, understand? Rank isn't everything. This sword is valuable because it's worth 1,000 lives. He pressed the blade to the boy's neck, asking arrogantly, So, do you still see me as some power-hungry, rank-obsessed fool? Suddenly, one of the chains binding, Wang Sik, snapped. He quickly shattered the others, seizing the chance to grab Zhang Qiu by the throat. The tables had turned. Wang Sik gripped his throat, hoisting him up. His voice was low. Waiting for you was torture, you worthless insect. Zhang Qiu choked in agony, gasping for air. The secretary screamed in terror. Chairman! Zhang Qiu trembled in pain, still caught in the grip. He desperately summoned his power, sending orbs flying. Wang Sik, you mongrel, let the chairman go. A massive shockwave erupted. In his fury, Wang Sik's power shattered the orbs instantly. Zhang Qiu was losing his mind. While being choked, he yelled at his subordinate, Are you insane? The debris hit me. Secretary Sa stuttered. Forgive me, Chairman. Wang Sik interrupted. I had no interest in worthless insects like you. Sealing the gate and stopping dungeon breaks was my priority. As he spoke, his grip tightened on the man's throat. You know what happens when a break occurs. How many people die? The average is 500 lives. Rong Chio screamed, burned by his own proud flames. It burns. So hot. Please, wait. But Wang Sik didn't care, continuing. Yet you took 1,000 lives, innocent children among them. The man struggled, begging. Let me explain. I have an offer. An offer you can't possibly refuse. Rong Chio hissed enticingly. Wang Sik's voice was ice. You're not human. You're a monster that must be eliminated. Then, he squeezed with all his strength. The crimson inferno exploded outwards. Rong Chio's face contorted in agony. Without hesitation, Wang Sik slammed him to the ground. Red flames still consumed his face. Rong Chio shrieked in pain. Please, put out the fire. Secretary Sa panicked, shouting helplessly. Chairman! With no other choice, he used his jacket to smother the flames. But the fire was relentless. Secretary Sa stammered. It won't go out. Rong Chio had become a monster, his face a burned, distorted mess. He lunged like a beast. Help me! Terrified, his secretary kicked him square in the face. Get back! Get away! He looked like a true demon. Even his loyal secretary stared in disgust. Wang Sik simply flicked his wrist, and just like that, the flames vanished. Wang Sik mocked him. Such loyalty. Kicking your master in the face at the very end? Secretary Sa trembled, asking, How? How did you extinguish the chairman's lunar eclipse flame so easily? This is impossible. It makes no sense. Suddenly, his eyes widened. A mysterious smile crept onto his face as he began to laugh, confusing Wang Sik. Secretary Sa held up his phone. On it, 2 masked figures held a cocoon. See this, you bastard? He roared. Wang Sik saw it and whispered one name, Minja. His fear gone, Secretary Sa spoke arrogantly into his phone. Hello, you hear me? Yes, the cocoon. Dig a deep hole and bury it now. And don't reveal its location to anyone until I give the order. After hanging up, Secretary Sa's arrogance returned in full. Hey, if you want to save that kid, strip off your gear. Secretary Sa pointed, demanding, the armor, helmet, shield, everything. Leave nothing. Unfazed, Wang Sik just took out his phone. Hello, Minja, he said calmly, stunning the secretary. Until I call you back, don't do anything to the cocoon. Do not open it under any circumstances. Got it? Good. The more he spoke, the more Secretary Sa began to sweat. Yeah, it's nothing major. Okay, I can track the phone's location, so don't worry. Call me if anything happens. The secretary stammered. Call from inside the cocoon? Wang Sik replied bluntly. Of course he can. Are you really that stupid? Realizing his plan had failed, the man dropped to his knees, shamelessly begging. Please, spare my life. Secretary Sa groveled, desperate to live. I'll do anything you say, please. Wang Sik leaned in close and said one word. The ledgers. Secretary Sa was still confused. Sir? What was that? The ledgers. The ones detailing all your embezzlement. You have 30 seconds. Sweating? He asked. For real? You'll really let me live? Wang Sik answered calmly. Yes. So you can rot in a prison cell for the rest of your life. He hesitated for a moment, glancing at a stack of books. Finally, Secretary Sa made his choice. He ran to a painting and pulled it aside, revealing a hidden safe behind it. He expertly punched in the code, and the safe swung open, revealing top-secret documents inside. Thinking he was safe, he chirped, Here, these are all the ledgers. Suddenly, a golden chain wrapped tightly around his neck. Secretary Sa struggled. Wait, but you promised you'd spare me. Wang Sik's reply was cold. I lied. The man choked, his eyes rolling back. Let me give you one final piece of advice. Next time, be more careful about the birthday gifts you choose. Deep within a lush forest, a small, peaceful cottage stood alone. Inside were Wang Sik and Minjae. The boy looked around and smiled. This place hasn't changed at all, has it? Wang Sik asked. Want to look around first? Minjae shook his head. No, I want to eat some cup noodles first. For some reason, the ones you make always taste better. Wang Sik was skeptical. But I just add hot water? The amount of water you add is a skill, you know? The boy asked. Wang Sik chuckled. Huh, I guess I can't argue with that. But suddenly, the peace was shattered. Minjae suddenly collapsed to the ground. Wang Sik turned just in time to see it. It's getting cold. You should eat now, Minjae, he urged. The boy clutched his head in pain, groaning weakly. Yeah, okay. Kwang Shich quickly brought over an orb. Here, take a deep breath and look at this. Min-jae forced himself to ask, what is this? Kwang Shich replied quickly, it's a spoil from that monster I defeated in America. It holds a lot of information. Go on, take a look. His voice was tinged with worry. It works just like the crystal ball that piece of trash used before. You know how to activate it, right? The boy nodded with difficulty. Min-jae activated the orb, and a brilliant light filled the room. A screen suddenly materialized on the ceiling. Information and symbols filled the display. The boy's eyes went wide with shock. This is like 100 library books worth of information, right? This should keep your headaches at bay for a while. Suddenly, Min-jae called out in a small voice. Hey! Kwang Shich answered. The boy stared, unable to believe his eyes. He hesitated. This is research material on spatial gates. At those words, Kwang Shich's eyes widened in shock. What? Min-jae touched the floating data. It looks like there's data on summoning magic too. It's almost like a journal. He must have recorded everything in here. The boy's voice was filled with excitement. Hey, I want to properly study all of this material. Is that okay? Kwang Shich seemed a bit stunned by his request, but soon after, he let out a sigh of relief. He gave Minza a fond look, signaling his agreement. Cheerful conversation filled the house. If you're going to do it right. I'll give you my full support. First, we need to clear out those empty basement floors, Kwang Shich said. Minza exclaimed, really? Thank you. I'll do my absolute best. Meanwhile, the newspapers were causing a massive shockwave. The Daekang Company has collapsed. Chief Ida of the Hunter Management Bureau is credited with wiping out the villains from the darkest Hell Gate. The news channels were all reporting the story. The Hunter Management Bureau had released all of Daekang's corruption records online. A party congressman was arrested. The 35 other people named in the ledgers are also under investigation. Hana saw the news as well. She smiled brightly, thinking to herself, Kwang Shich is incredible. He took down the Daekang Corporation in less than half a day. Now the entire nation of Korea is in an uproar. Suddenly, a loud voice rang out, startling Hana. Huh? What is it now? The gate response team leader, Bido, was frantically shouting into his phone. The gate opens in 30 minutes? Who can we find as a replacement now? And it's a B-rank gate. Wait, hello? Hello? The other side had hung up. He cursed in anger. Damn it. Hana walked over and asked worriedly, what's wrong, team leader? He replied, it's the hero organization. They said they can't make it. She was stunned. What? Right now? Support team leader Jong Jin approached with a report. The other organizations have also refused to join the raid. They must have planned this together, right? Hana turned and asked, isn't refusing a bureau request a serious offense, right? Jong Jin answered, sweating. Yes, but they know it's hard to hold them truly accountable, so they do it anyway. Without them, we can't raid the gate. Hana retorted, still defiant. Then we'll attack it ourselves. We still have a chance against a B-rank gate. Bido crossed his arms. Hunter Hana, the bureau's gotten much stronger since you joined. We might be able to handle a B-rank gate ourselves. But his eyes were heavy with sadness. But looking at Team 5's true strength, there's no guarantee everyone would return alive. Do you understand what I mean? Bido asked. Hana understood, at least partly. She lowered her head in sad silence. At a nearby port, a gate had materialized, surrounded by guards. An announcement came. The gate will open in 5 minutes. Hana spoke up. Can't we contact Kwang Shich? Jong Jin replied worriedly. We already tried. The helicopter is delayed. We don't know when he'll arrive. While they were talking, something caught her eye. Hana spotted 2 buses speeding toward them. Huh? She said with suspicion. That bus, doesn't that belong to the hero organization? Jong Jin stared blankly beside her. Slow footsteps approached them as Bido and his team watched intently. A voice called out, Now, everyone, you can relax. From now on, leave this dangerous B-rank gate to the hero organization. And that man was Seon Chan, leader of the hero organization. Seeing him, Bido questioned, Didn't you say you couldn't make it? He spread his arms wide and replied, Yes, there was an emergency, but I couldn't ignore the safety of our citizens. He flashed a sinister, mocking smile. Besides, considering the abilities of the Hunter Management Bureau, I couldn't possibly stay away. If you went in, half of you would be carried out on stretchers. After hearing this, Bido and the others all had dark, irritated expressions. Seon-chan got closer to Bido, his face a mocking sneer. Allow me to offer some advice. Next time, be prepared for a situation like this. It'd be a huge problem if I really couldn't come. He patted Bido lightly on the shoulder. The rest depends on how you act in the future. Despite the humiliation, Beto endured it. Suddenly, an intense flame erupted from behind him, and its owner was Hana. Unable to contain her furious rage, she summoned a fireball. The others saw this and rushed to stop her. Hana, calm down! He was completely flustered. What's this? Hana shouted indignantly. Let me go! I don't normally eat dog, but I'm roasting one today. Beto's voice cut through the chaos. Everyone, stop this now. Stand down. She stared blankly at her team leader, Beto. He spoke, though reluctantly. Sealing the gate safely is more important than anything else. This is no time to argue about pride. From now on, command is transferred to the hero organization. Before Beto could finish, someone interrupted. Hey, something's coming over there. Beneath the water, a figure shot forward at incredible speed. Held back, Hana stared blankly. A shark? Jongjin replied. Isn't that a jet ski? A figure burst coolly from the water, landing with wet feet, as water sprayed everywhere. Seeing this person, everyone's faces lit up with joy. They all shouted one name in unison. B-rank Hunter Wang Sik. Unfazed, Wang Sik stylishly brushed back his hair. An astonished Jongjin approached him. No way. How did you get here? He answered casually. I was short on time, so I just swam over. Jongjin was shocked. You swam hundreds of kilometers? Wang Sik ignored him, turning to Seon-chan. Hey, it looks like there are some unrelated people here for this mission. His face darkened as he replied. I came here on the Bureau's official invitation, which I struggled to make time for. As a matter of basic courtesy, you should show some respect. Wang Sik shot back without hesitation. The gate assignment notice was definitely sent out yesterday, wasn't it? You were silent for days, then canceled right before the gate opened, and you dare lecture me about manners? Unable to argue, Seon-chan started making excuses. I am the leader of the hero organization. I have nothing to say to a lowlife beneath the rank of leader. Now get lost, Wang Sik retorted quickly. Oh, is that so? Then what was the leader of the hero organization doing during the last dungeon break? I remember saying if you guys collected trash, you'd at least be useful to society. But looking at you, it's obvious you did nothing, right? You guys just act high and mighty while leeching off the people's taxes. Have you no shame, living like that? If I were you, I would have fled the country in disgrace. Then again, even abroad, trash like you would just rot in a gutter like some Hellgate monster. Pushed by the constant mockery, veins throbbed on Seong-chan's forehead as his rage boiled over. He drew his bow and roared, You're just C-rank insects. You think recruiting Hana alone makes you A-rank material. Fine, let's see if you're even worthy of facing the great Seong-chan. As he spoke, a powerful wind erupted around him. Shielding her face, she wondered, why did the wind suddenly pick up? Budo shouted in alarm, Captain Seong-chan, what are you doing? Even his own men were terrified. Captain, don't tell me. But ignoring their pleas, Seong-chan's eyes blazed with fury. He focused his power and ordered, Everyone, brace for the shockwave. Immense power began to gather before his bow. A subordinate screamed, It's the Stormwind strike. Hana cursed, That absolute madman. Budo was horrified. He commanded, All defensive skill users, to the front now. Seong-chan sneered, A skill fit for the dregs from the Hellgates. If gutter trash like you can't even block this, what good are you? With that, he unleashed an arrow surging with raw wind energy. It shot towards Wang Sik like a tornado. The aftershock sent his own subordinates flying. Seong-chan smirked, believing he'd won. Did I go a little too far? Still, you're the one who started it, not knowing your place. Suddenly, his eyes widened in shock. Through the dust cloud, a solid shield came into view. Everyone behind it was completely unharmed. Wang Sik had blocked the entire attack. A confident smirk on his face and a sharp glint in his eyes. This should be more than enough for self-defense. Seong-chan's eyes widened in disbelief. No, that's impossible. Armored up, Wang Sik began walking toward him, as Seong-chan reeled in shock, thinking, But that's my strongest skill. How? The air grew tense as Wang Sik stared down at him. He screamed in terror, Stay back, don't come any closer. His face was a mask of panic. Take one more step and I won't be responsible for what happens. Even if the dungeon breaks, I won't back down. This is all your fault. Suddenly, a chain shot out, wrapping itself around Seong-chan. It left him stunned and completely immobilized. Wang Sik leaned in close, his eyes wide as he growled, You're a lot more pathetic than I imagined. The moment the words left his lips, Seong-chan was violently yanked into the air. He was slammed mercilessly into the ground. As Wang Sik held the golden chain, a voice called out, making him turn. Hunter Wang Sik, the gate is about to open. Budo stood beside him. Let Captain Lee Jongjin and the security team handle this. We should get to work. Wang Sik could only mutter, "The captain?" He let out a deep sigh, turning back to Song Chan. He was unconscious on the shattered ground, his face deathly pale. Wang Sik's voice dripped with sarcasm. "Consider yourself lucky." At a vast container yard, the evening sun painted the sky a brilliant orange. There, a group of people emerged from a shimmering portal. A voice called out, "The gate has been cleared." 2 hunters were grinning, one with dark hair practically buzzing with excitement. "It feels like a dream. We really cleared a B-rank gate." The other added joyfully, "This means we can take on more than just B ranks from now on, right?" The two chattered endlessly. With Hunter Wang Sik and Hunter Hana, even an A-rank gate would be a cakewalk. The other enthusiastically agreed. "Exactly. We only need those two." Hearing this, Budo stopped and advised them. "But on the other hand, that means we're depending on them too much." Hearing that, one of the hunters said nervously, "Captain." With a stern expression, he replied, "The least we can do is try not to hold them back." A modern skyscraper with a sheer, blue glass facade towered over the metropolis. This was the Hunter Management Bureau. Dressed in a prison uniform, Seong-chan looked up with terrified eyes. He trembled. "I'm sorry, I must have temporarily lost my mind. Please, give me a chance to make amends." In the interrogation room, a single light shone down from above. Jong-jin stood with his arms crossed, his expression grave. 30 minutes before the gate opened, you suddenly announced your withdrawal. Curiously, the other organizations also refused to assist at the exact same time. I'd like to hear more about that. At those words, Seong-chan flinched. "Well, the Hunter Management Bureau has been gaining influence, so we agreed to put them in their place." Jong-jin's expression remained stern, meaning the guilds conspired to flaunt their power and simultaneously restrain the Bureau. "Is that a correct assessment?" He immediately answered, "Yes." Wang Sik, standing nearby, spoke up. "Name every organization that agreed to this." Seong-chan's face turned white as he stammered. "About that," Jong-jin said calmly, "you had better think carefully about your current position. For today's events alone, the Hero Guild will be forcibly disbanded. As for you, Kang Song-chan, your hunter license will be revoked, and you will be branded a traitor." Jong-jin's gaze was threatening. "However, this outcome can change depending on your level of cooperation with us." Sweat poured down Seong-chan's face as he sat in silence. Ida watched from behind a one-way mirror. At that moment, Seong-chan confessed, "Black Heaven, Soul, Tempest, Lion's Light, Zenith, and my guild, making 6. With a serious expression, the chief sighed. "Those are all among the top 10 guilds representing Korea right now." Wang Sik stepped out, looking troubled. "Sir, how will you handle this?" Ida gave a cold smile. "It's not that complicated, is it? Have him sign a pledge not to reoffend and release him." Wang Sik couldn't believe it. "Are you being serious?" The chief understood his reaction. "I know how you feel, but our country is facing a severe hunter shortage," he continued. "Not to mention, Kang Seong-chan is a rare A-rank hunter. The Hero Guild he leads is also in the top 10. If we punish them, it'll create a massive hole in our gate assault strategy, wouldn't it?" But Wang Sik still couldn't accept it. But before he could finish, Ida interrupted. "I have no intention of letting this go." His eyes were sharp and emotionless. "But we have to bring the ones pulling the strings to the table, for negotiations. We might overlook this under normal circumstances, but not this time." A week later, the air in the conference room was still heavy. Flanked by Wang Sik and Hana, Ida began with a grave expression. "Thank you all for gathering so early." Across from them sat 5 other guildmasters. Documents lay on the table before each guildmaster. They began to review the files. Ida cut straight to the point. "The documents before you detail the laws regarding this incident, along with the penalties." Suddenly, the master of the Taeyang Guild, Jo Sok, spoke up. "The charge is gate destruction? If this gets out, the guild is finished. At worst, it could even mean the death penalty." He glared with contempt. "Will we even have time to say goodbye to our families?" Ida smirked, her confidence a blatant challenge. "What's so surprising? Everyone knows that will never happen. Given Korea's current situation, punishing an entire guild is impossible." He continued with a knowing smile. "But I can absolutely choke your funding over this incident." The statement stunned everyone into silence. The tension in the vast meeting room was thick enough to cut. Ida laid out the harsh terms. "First, all special support funds from the Bureau of Management will be cut off immediately. Next, we'll release the full story to the press. Not only will your reputations crumble, but your sponsors will abandon you one by one." The guildmaster of Pungyun, Jo Sok, slammed his hand on the table, his face filled with rage. "That's going too far. We've spent years protecting Korea from the gates. Are you trying to erase all of that now?" But Ida raised a hand calmly, as if to soothe him. I never said that. The Hunter Management Bureau is always grateful for your contributions. That's why we want to offer you a chance. He then explained. This is a draft amendment to the Gate Act, soon to be passed. If the Guildmasters agree, it will be very beneficial. Everyone held a copy, their faces darkening as they read. Article 2, Section 4 of the Gate Act. Bureau staff have the right to request accompaniment during a gate raid. The guild assigned to the raid must comply with that request. The Guildmasters' faces twitched in anger. One of them burst out. What? What is this madness? Besides accompaniment, they can also install Bureau-provided cameras based on on-site evaluation. Seeing their reactions, Wang Sik crossed his arms and smirked. They must be panicking. Now they can't monopolize item information or hide fatalities and mistakes inside the gates anymore. Ida offered a pleasant smile. The current law is just the one you rewrote with dirty money 5 years ago. I'm just putting things back the way they were. No one loses anything. Suddenly, a voice rang out. You've gone too far. Then Morimoto, master of the Hyuk Guild, sneered contemptuously. Tell me, who has been protecting Korea until now? Just because one A-rank hunter joined, the Bureau is suddenly acting bold. You never participated before, so why play the hero now? His words were a clear challenge. The guilds are the ones who protected this country, not your Bureau. Just keep your heads down and play your little support role like you always have. But Morimoto still wore a frightening smile. His tone dripped with mockery. It's because your Bureau people don't know their place and try to climb over us that we chose the best way to eliminate that injustice. If that's a crime, then from now on, you can clear all the gates yourselves. Our guilds will have nothing left to do but dissolve on their own. Isn't that right? Hearing this, Hana shot to her feet, unable to contain her anger. How disgusting. You dare speak of protecting the country? She turned to Morimoto, her voice filled with fury. If you truly ran your guild with that mindset, you wouldn't have made that incompetent oaf a team leader just because he's your son. Ida was startled by her outburst. Hunter Min Hana. But despite her fury, Morimoto remained terrifyingly calm. Hunter Min, you still haven't learned any manners, have you? Hana smirked, her voice laced with venom. I used to be very polite, back before I had to serve a guild like yours, she growled. The man you promoted got 30 members of my team killed. You even made me read a eulogy honoring that bastard. Her face was flushed with rage, her eyes burning with pure fury. A man like you talks about protecting the country and ending injustice? That's a sick joke. Morimoto slammed his hand on the table, a terrifying aura erupting from his body. I'm warning you, shut your mouth. A chain shot towards him, missing its mark but making Morimoto's eyes widen in shock. The table was whipped in half by the chain's force, making everyone jump to their feet. Thick smoke obscured the attacker. Wang Sik's eyes were full of menace. Back off now, unless you want to die right here. As the smoke began to clear, Morimoto's eyes were also glowing. He stood there, completely still. Ida's face went blank. You were the one who suggested bringing Wang Sik and Min Hana as bodyguards, right? So don't try to pin this on me. Hearing that, Jeon-soo could only sigh. A while later, at the director's office, Jeon-soo walked in. His heart pounded, but his gaze was sharp, his breath controlled against the anxiety rising in his chest. Hana and Wang Sik were sweating, silent with worry and fear. Jongjin bowed his head, covered in sweat. Budo coughed to hide his tension. The air was heavy. Yes, Ida spoke up hesitantly. Well, we got the signed agreements anyway, so we achieved our goal. He laughed, breaking the tension slightly. Let's just focus on the good news, shall we? Hana forced a smile. Yes, that's right. The moment she spoke, she met Jeon-soo's murderous glare. Hana pressed her lips together, instantly on edge. Jeon-soo sighed. The purpose of this negotiation was to apply some pressure on the guildmasters, to strengthen the Bureau's position. Her voice rose in frustration. But you two didn't just apply pressure, you detonated a bomb. You really made a mess of things. Min Hana and Wang Sik bowed their heads repeatedly. I'm sorry. He quickly cut them off. First, we need to discuss how to deal with the guild masters. After being treated like that, they definitely won't stay quiet, will they? Budo said worriedly. They've refused to clear gates before. This time, they'll play even dirtier. Jongjin added, in any case, without them, we can't handle the gates. They have plenty of ways to make things difficult for us. Jeon-soo spoke with intensity. In this situation, we must make the first move. Suddenly, Ida's eyes lit up. Do you already have a plan? Her voice was calm and certain. We will apply the greatest possible pressure in a completely legal way, she declared confidently. We won't clear the gates for them. This plan truly satisfied everyone. Zhongjin said, simple, yet effective. With no gates to raid, the guilds can only sit around and do nothing. But that also means… Hana looked a bit surprised. So all gates in Korea must be handled by the Hunter Management Bureau? The question hung in the air, and a tense silence descended upon the room. Wang Sik remained silent, lost in thought. Junsu answered bluntly, yes, it all comes down to Hunter Wang Sik's decision. He closed his eyes, weighing his options. Finally, he made his decision. Let's do this. Make me the vice captain for 6 months. His voice was firm, full of resolve. I will personally train the Bureau's agents. They will be able to clear A-rank gates. Beto slammed his hand on the table, shouting in agreement. I'm all for it. Not just as vice captain either, I'd even give him the captain's seat. The director looked at Beto, speaking softly. Captain Beto has a point, but we cannot rely on Hunter Wang Sik forever. I'm sure our 5th Division would be glad to join this training. Hearing this, Ida finally smiled, relieved. Very well, it's settled. We'll appoint Wang Sik as temporary vice captain of the gate response team for 6 months, the director confirmed. But just for half a year. Can this truly succeed? Wang Sik answered with confidence. Yes. But when you explain this to your agents, be sure to tell them one thing. His voice dropped to a low growl. I am going to become a demon to them. The next morning, under a clear blue sky, Zhongjin was in a state of panic. The report just said the gate was only 5 centimeters wide. Staring in shock, he wondered, this growth rate, could it be the work of Black Heaven? Morimoto wondered aloud. A high-speed gate? His subordinate confirmed, yes, sir. We predict it's A rank and will open in 5 hours. He closed his eyes, a smug tone in his voice. Mapo District is our territory. It seems the heavens are on our side. He let out a wicked smile. We just failed our last raid, and our image suffered when Hana left. With sponsorships declining, an opportunity like this falls right into our laps. His subordinate reported, Sir, several other guilds have requested to cooperate. Our guild will conquer this gate alone. The only ones in the spotlight will be Black Heaven, he gave the order. Summon all B-rank members and hire. We move out in 1 hour, the man bowed. Yes, sir. Morimoto reiterated. This high-speed gate is the perfect chance to remind the public of our guild's true power. He bellowed, his voice booming. Failure is not an option, understand? The crowd roared back. Yes, sir. Suddenly, a scout rushed forward. Captain, Morimoto frowned. What is it? The scout reported. Sir, we have a problem. He explained that they still hadn't received a support request from the Hunter Management Bureau. It seems they intend to handle it themselves. Morimoto's eyes went wide with fury. What? Suddenly, the gate flashed crimson and arced with violent lightning. A dark knight emerged. It was none other than Wang Sik. His voice was chilling. Welcome, everyone, to hell itself. He roared. No one will die in here, but you will all wish you were dead. I swear it. Wang Sik warned them. The hell you imagine isn't even half of the suffering you'll face. The agents froze in terror, their faces drained of all color. His expression was deadly serious. Then, let's begin. These 6 months will feel like 600 years. Ida looked on, concerned. Will this be all right? Zhongjin reassured her. Please, don't worry. Hunter Wang Sik cleared an A-rank gate that even Black Heaven failed to conquer. Even though this is a high-speed gate, there's no need to worry. But the director suddenly frowned. No, I'm worried for the Bureau's agents. Ida's words made Zhongjin falter, his throat tight. He asked nervously, It will be okay, right? Just then, a blood-curdling scream echoed out. A bloodbat, an A-rank monster. Book Yusak stared in disbelief. The beast lunged to attack, but Wang Sik intervened just in time. He tore into him. Book Yusak, you think you have 9 lives? No, even 20 lives wouldn't have been enough for that stunt. The man could only gasp for breath. I'm sorry. His sharp voice turned to another. And you, Dong Hezyeon, she cried out. Yes, he scoffed. Can't hit a monster that big? You should just drop the bow. You'd have better luck throwing sand. Wang Sik pressed on. Dong Hezyeon, if your timing is off, who are you even healing? Are you planning to resurrect the dead? She stammered. And no, that's not it. Wang Sik's voice was ice. Does this team plan to fight one monster all day? I don't mind. I can fight for days. The team shouted back. No, sir. About 30 minutes later, a massive explosion rocked the area. The bloodbat slammed into the ground. Yusak yelled in triumph. The beast is down. Hezyeon cheered as well. Great, it's finally over. But suddenly, Wang Sik restrained the monster. Failure. The beast let out a roar as he glared at the team. How many times must I say it? The main targets are its eyes and mouth. This team attacked like a storm, yet not a single stray hit landed. It's almost impressive, Wang Sik reminded them. This ends only when you strike its weak points. Otherwise, we do this until you get it right. Yusok stared in shock, finally understanding. What? I thought we already defeated it. A helpless scream tore through the air. The bloodbat shrieked once more. Wang Sik nonchalantly commented, "You must be angry from being restrained. Looks like your venom has grown more potent." Everyone's face turned deathly pale. A terrifying thought crossed their minds. A demon. To them, he was the devil himself. But Wang Sik just reminded them, "Come on, focus. No one dreams of leaving this place until you succeed." The bloodbat was still circling high above them. Panic set in. Yusok yelled, "Damn it, I think it's faster now." Hyeon added, "How are we supposed to hit that thing?" From the back, Hana roared, "I'll handle this." A massive fireball of immense energy formed between her hands. With a final roar, she poured all her strength into the attack. The giant fireball screamed through the air before exploding with a deafening roar. The team cheered, one of the men yelling, "An A-rank monster, down in one hit. That's Hunter Min Hana for you." But Wang Sik's annoyed voice cut in from behind. "Miss Hana, I believe I told you not to engage without my command. Did I not?" She quickly defended herself. But the team was exhausted. "I couldn't just watch," he sighed. "Fine, I'll let it slide this time. But you seem to have energy to spare. With that much power, you could have taken two," Hana stammered. I was just trying for a quick finish." Wang Sik scolded her. "Is that how you use your strength? Want to die before the fight is even over? You were the exact same when we first met." Hana flinched as his words hit their mark, her anger flaring. So, he was finally letting her fight? An A-rank hunter needing to be trained from scratch. Wang Sik pressed. "Anything else to say, Miss Min Hana?" She shot back. Annoyed, "No." 8 hours had passed since they'd begun. The others were getting restless. One hunter demanded, 8 hours. What the hell is management doing? Another replied, probably trying to figure out how to ask for our help without losing face. The first hunter agreed. Yeah, that sounds about right. Management handling an A-rank gate? What a joke. Another said, stop wasting time and send the support request already. Tsk. Morimoto smirked darkly. So they had no secret weapon after all. Just a childish tantrum born from worthless pride. Chief Ito was completely out of options. Inside the gate, endless waves of demons swarmed them. Damn it. At this rate, they'll wipe us all out. Ju-hyun collapsed to his knees. I can't move anymore. A demon salivated, diving in for the easy kill, but it slammed into a brilliant golden barrier. Jong-yi stood behind it. The Holy Guard. Kwang Shich's voice cut in. Min Jong-yi. The boy jumped. Yes? Kwang Shich snapped. When the tanker gets pushed back, you buff the line immediately. Are you even paying attention? Jong-yi was terrified. I'm so sorry, sir. Kwang Shich's glare shifted. And you, Bak Ju-hyun, a tanker who rushes to his death betrays his entire team. From now on, I will not forgive such an act. Understood? The man replied sadly. I'm sorry. Next, Kwang Shich turned on Sim Junsu. Are you using those dual blades to chop wood? Don't you know their reach is longer than a single sword? He could only stammer in response, unable to form words. He then turned to Lizina, planning to cast that grand magic that takes half a lifetime to use, and only Dung Haizan is slower than that. One hunter finally broke. I know we're not meeting your standards, but we're doing our best. Most of us are C-rank hunters. It's a miracle we're even still alive. If you keep pushing us like this. But Kwang Shich cut him off. A miracle? His voice was cold. It seems you've all forgotten. I made it clear before we came in here. No one will die. He began to list off numbers, to everyone's shock and shame. The team leader, 14 times. Dung Haizan, 20 times. Bak Ju-hyun, 21 times. Min Jong-yi, 25 times. Lee Soo-kwon, 33 times. And every other member here, at least 20 times. That's how many times you would have died without me. Still don't get it? Miss Min Hana only had 9 deaths. The only one in single digits. A huge gap, proving the power of an A-rank hunter. She asked, frustrated and helpless, is that a compliment or are you mocking me? Kwang Shich stood with his arms crossed. No matter how hard the game, if you keep inserting coins, you'll eventually win. I'll be in the back, feeding you coins while I complain. All you need to do is fight with confidence. He finished his announcement. I've given you a break. So, shouldn't we get started again? Everyone froze. Junsu gasped. What? Hana screamed. Wait, when did we get a break? He turned back calmly. I just gave you 3 minutes. That's more than enough time to catch your breath. 3, Wang Sik commanded. Now, everyone, into position. Looking like a demon herself, she cursed. You crazy bastard. The vice captain yelled. Wang Sik, wait. But the demons gave them no time to rest, swarming forward. Fear filled their hearts. Hana braced herself as Zhang A tried to cast a buff. Outside, the crowd murmured as Rongjin and Morimoto negotiated. Ida anxiously asked, "What's the situation?" Rongjin replied, "No change from the gate yet, but a lot of time has passed, sir. I think we should prepare a support request, just in case." The chief's expression darkened. Ida hesitated. "Let's wait just a little longer." Inside, Wang Sik's hunters were gasping for air, covered in wounds as they fell one by one. The others helped each other move, their breathing ragged. At last, they reached the boss, Thanatos. Its demonic face was a mass of writhing snakes. Wang Sik called out, "Get up, everyone. After all, the only way out of here is to kill that thing. The weak points are obvious, those 5 snakeheads. Simple enough, right?" Hana screamed, launching a furious attack. A fireball destroyed one snakehead. The monster shrieked in pain. Wang Sik taunted from behind. "That's not enough damage. You fired non-stop at the start, but now you're out of steam for the real boss?" she yelled, her shame turning to rage. "Shut up, you bastard." Suddenly, Hana froze, her eyes wide. A snakehead lunged, its jaws open to swallow her whole. Wang Sik mocked her again. "And that makes death number 12. I'm starting to lose faith in A-rankers." Her fury intensified as she grit her teeth with a growl. 12 hours had passed since the raid began. Ida's face was grim. A voice spoke up. "Make your decision. Our patience is at its limit," Morimoto continued. "The safety of the citizens or the pride of the Bureau? I don't need to tell you which one is more important, do I?" Defeated, the chief finally spoke. "From this moment, the Hunter Management Bureau will entrust the mission to the COULDN Guild." Before Ida could finish, a shout erupted. "The gate has been cleared." Morimoto was stunned. "What?" Wang Sik emerged from the portal. Ida was overcome with relief. "Mr. Wang Sik," the chief ran forward, wanting to embrace him. "You worked so hard. You did well. Are the others safe?" He replied, "Of course. Everyone is still alive." The hunters' legs trembled as they staggered out, exhausted. Each one looked like they were on the verge of collapse. The chief gasped. "Alive? You call that being alive?" Wang Sik remained calm. "No one died, so it's fine, isn't it? There isn't even a single broken bone." Ida rushed over to Zhang A. "Min Zhang A, are you okay?" The boy kept muttering like a man possessed. "Heal. Must heal." When Zhang Yi looked up, his eyes were as wild as a demon's. He suddenly screamed, "Heal!" and cast a spell on the chief. Then, like an overworked machine, Zhang Yi collapsed in a puff of smoke. Ida was speechless. He fell unconscious at the chief's feet. Ida finally turned on him, furious. "My God, Wang Sik, what on earth did you do to my staff?" 3. Later that night, in a high-rise building, a voice called out, "I'm home." A woman ran to the door. "You're so late. You had me worried sick." His daughter ran to him calling, "Daddy!" Beto, exhausted, said, "Don't talk. I really thought I was a goner." Moonlight shone through the window as he sighed. Beto lay in bed, replaying the day's events. "Do I have to do this for another 6 months? Can I even take it?" His daughter suddenly called, "Dad?" He answered, Suddenly, Wang Sik's face appeared. He said, "Get up, this is no time to be lying down." Beto was completely startled. He shot upright, looking like he'd seen a ghost. Beto asked confusedly, What the hell? Was that a dream?" Wang Sik spoke. "Now, there's no time to be lazing around," he announced. "A gate is opening in Busan in 8 hours. Everyone get on the bus, now." The crowd looked on in horror. "Unbelievable," the man without a hat lamented. "I just survived that hell, and now I have to go back?" The other added, "Is he insane?" Wang Sik stood silent amidst the grumbling. "I'm not going. I can't go. I quit." Beto was also stunned. I can't take it anymore either." A voice rose in a curse. "A scam." A man with a scar yelled, This has to be a scam. How could the Bureau dare to claim they cleared an A-rank gate? They must have just upgraded a C-rank gate to A-rank to scare people. There's no way the Bureau could clear an A-rank dungeon by themselves," he shouted while pointing at Wang Sik, and everyone else joined in. One person said, "That's right, it's a scam. They usually only dare to roam around D or F-rank dungeons, and now they're saying they can clear an A-rank? Only a fool would believe that." The other person replied, "Even with Hana, it's hopeless." They continued to curse, still enraged. "A scam," Wang Sik calmly said. "That sounds reasonable. If you're not going to refute their taunts, just stay on the ground. His words seemed to push Bido to his limit. He gritted his teeth in anger, trembling as he stood. Everyone was shocked, Captain. He staggered towards the scarred man, who noticed him. Bido swung his arm to attack him. Luckily, he dodged. The scarred man asked, What's going on? Then he looked at the ground in shock. He recognized it as the Fang of Thanatos. The crowd murmured, The Fang of Thanatos? The scarred man exclaimed, Thanatos is one of the top A-rank bosses. Morimoto wondered, could it be that they really cleared an A-rank gate? But how? The scarred man was still dismissive. What kind of trick is this now? They probably emptied their budget to buy one from the black market. Otherwise. As he was talking, Hana rushed past and threw something at his feet. The scarred man continued. All four of them. This time it was Juhyun's turn. He remained stubborn. If you're so good, show me more. She threw it at his feet. The scarred man looked down and said, All of them. Ida laughed heartily from behind, yelling, That's my kids. Just then, Bido stepped onto the bus, and he realized something in horror. The bus was filled with IV drips. Bido asked, What is this? This looks like a mobile blood donation vehicle. Wang Sik calmly replied, On the way to Busan, everyone get an IV and sleep well. Because the moment you open your eyes, you'll have to fight. In other words, every second of sleep you get is a bonus. Someone who had just sat down collapsed. The more I think about it, the more I realize, this is crazy. The other person sighed. Screw it, I'm going to sleep. Wang Sik announced, Before you sleep, I have some good news for you all. This gate is only a B rank. Bido heaved a sigh of relief after hearing this, but then he realized something. Wait, did I just feel relieved that the gate is only B rank? Just yesterday, I thought a B-rank gate was impossible to clear. Bido was stunned. Zhang-Yi was also nervous in his seat. And now I feel lucky that it's only a B-rank? Bido wondered to himself. Wang Sik waited silently, looking at everyone, and said softly, Sleep well, sweet dreams. Afterwards, there was an announcement. The Hunter Management Bureau has successfully conquered the A-rank gate in Jium, attracting great support but also facing suspicions of staging the incident, which shocked the public. The Hunter Management Bureau continued to make waves by taking down 3 B-rank gates in a row. Hana smiled mysteriously, saying that the so-called demon was someone else in the bureau. Not only that, the Hunter Management Bureau set a new record. This both confirmed their strength and shocked the public. Bido stared blankly at the things in front of him. Ida waved his hand generously, his face beaming. All right, one by one, sign your name and take your share. Take it. This is the Fortress of Will, the Giant's Necklace. And when he picked up a shield, he enthusiastically introduced, and yours is the Shield of the Holy War. Zhang-A gasped in surprise, happily taking his reward. Ida continued, Besides the prize money, this is a special gift from the Bureau. Do you have any idea how many monsters I had to fight to get these? Everyone tried on their newly rewarded equipment. One person holding a longsword praised, Are these A-rank equipment? The person in red armor added, I thought I'd never have the chance to see it in my lifetime. He suddenly boomed. No matter how much you hate him, you should say a word of thanks to Vice Captain Bei Wang Sik. To find the right item for everyone, he went to the trouble of rummaging through inventory all over the world to pick them out. Everyone turned to look at their vice captain, moved, Vice Captain Bei Wang Sik. But Wang Sik shattered everyone's dreams with a single sentence. Don't be too happy yet. Now that you've received them, I need to see if they're of any use to you. He continued grimly. In a critical moment, it would probably only protect you for a minute. But that 1 minute is enough to determine life or death. In short, even if your equipment is A rank, don't think you're an A rank hunter. Now that you've got them, go earn them. Every single one of them came from the blood and sweat of the people. Hana's face darkened in anger. Tisking. What an arrogant way of talking. Someone else added, Can someone take his hat off for me? In a room at the Black Heaven headquarters, a voice rang out. What? The C-rank gate was given to another organization again. The subordinate bowed his head and reported, Yes, this time both we and our allied organizations were excluded from the list. The 6 organizations that collaborated on the previous case also did not receive any missions this time. The person sitting opposite immediately slammed his hand on the table in anger. It was Morimoto. He was filled with a murderous aura. Some organizations even swallowed their pride and actively sent special requests. Damn the Management Bureau. The subordinate hurriedly reported, Guildmaster, the members' morale is gradually panicking. Moreover, Kang Hansu is negotiating to transfer to another organization. He pressed on, stunning Morimoto. What? Kang Hansu, a key strategist, whose power rivals Hana, is a pillar of the Black Heaven Guild. If he leaves, it's not just a blow to our strength. It could trigger a mass exodus from the guild. At this rate, Black Heaven won't survive another 6 months. A decision must be made. He sank into a heavy silence. Chairman, may I enter? A voice called. Morimoto answered. Come in. Sir, we've received an urgent request for support. He asked. Urgent support? The man reported. From the Euro-Asian Gate Cooperation Union. An emergency notice for all member organizations. A cruel smile crept across Morimoto's face. He rejoiced. It seems the heavens haven't abandoned me yet. The scene then shifts to a towering skyscraper where Wang Sik and Ida were speaking. You've heard the news, haven't you? Yes. Wang Sik continued. An S-rank gate has opened in Russia. Correct, Ida replied. The director of the management bureau, Hunter Doif of Russia, came to me himself. He says they need you. Ida looked at him, asking, So, what will you do? He answered firmly, Of course I'm going. If an S-rank gate breaks, it stops being just a Russian problem. Hearing his answer, Ida nodded. Understood. I'll let Doif know. Take Hana with you this time. Wang Sik hesitated for a moment. It's a good chance for her to get experience, but if we're short-staffed here, we'll have trouble with gates. What's the plan? She answered, sounding resigned. It's an emergency, so we'll have to assign some work to the other organizations. She ended the conversation with a word of caution. Be careful, both of you. It's been a while since you've seen your old friends, right? He replied indifferently. Old friends? I just hope they aren't the tiresome kind. The scene changes to Incheon Airport. Hana looked surprised. Huh? Someone else is coming with us? Jeon-soo calmly explained. They are here as support from the organizations, not as representatives from the Korean government. In any case, Russia needs all the help it can get. As she finished, she added, They're arriving now. In the lead was Jong-oh from the Black Heaven Guild. He said mockingly, Well, look who it is. Behind him were Myung-jin of the Taeyang Guild and Myung-sik of the Gwangpung Guild. Jong-oh grinned slyly. Long time no see. She looked away in disgust, not bothering to reply. Jeon-soo broke the tense silence. I am Jeon-soo. I'm in charge of this delegation. Please show me your support files. He replied with a single word, Here. His gaze shifted to Wang Sik as he thought. So, that's Wang Sik? He then recalled his conversation with Morimoto. The chairman said joining the Euro-Asian Gate Cooperation Union a year ago was a truly wise decision. This S-rank gate raid will be a massive opportunity for Black Heaven. Do well, and return. He had replied obediently, Yes, sir. Then Morimoto suddenly asked about Wang Sik. By the way, you know of the man named Wang Sik, right? He'd answered. You mean the one making waves in the management bureau? Picturing Wang Sik in his majestic armor, Morimoto said, That's him. For years, there were rumors of a mysterious mercenary in a demonic helmet and pitch-black armor. But recently, he's begun to operate in the open, and he has become a huge obstacle for Black Heaven and other guilds. His face darkened as he continued. Even Kang So, the master of the Hero Guild, was taken down without a chance to fight back. But with 3 A-rank hunters like you, I think you can handle him. Jong-oh hesitated. What are you suggesting? Morimoto's voice was firm. We've already negotiated with Taeyang and Gwangpung. Find a chance to strike in Russia. Hearing this, he felt an immense tension. Back in the present, Jeon-soo made an announcement. Okay, your files are approved. Let's depart. The plane cut through the clouds. On board? Jong-oh taunted Hana. Living for the nation? Is it fun? Fun enough to betray your own organization? She retorted. Annoyed. A freeloader, just tagging along, should shut up and sleep. But he wouldn't let it go. Is that any way to speak to your senior? You were cuter when you begged me to teach you. But now? She retorted with sarcasm. Oh, I learned plenty. Enough to see that your kind isn't even human. Still playing with your female fans? Her words enraged him. He exploded with fury. You bitch. Don't think I'll take that. Want to try me, right here and now? The moment he spoke, a golden chain bound him tight, completely immobilizing him. What is this? He screamed. Let me go. Wang Sik turned irritably to Jeon-soo. Can I just throw him out? She asked. How do you plan on opening the door mid-flight? He pouted. So no? No, she said coldly. Seeing this, Myung-jin shouted, Hey, there's a limit to disrespecting other guilds. What do you think you're doing? Jeon-soo replied calmly. You're the ones being disrespectful. Of international law, that is, she continued, not looking up from her book. Insulting a bureau agent is one thing, but using your powers on a flight? Are you not aware that's considered an act of terrorism? He froze up. Still not looking from her book, she said, If you sit down and remain silent now, I will let this slide once we land in Russia. Her voice hardened. But there won't be a second time. The chains around Zhang-O loosened, but his rage had not faded. Scene change. A villa in Moscow, Russia. Wang Sik approached Zhang-O. What in the world just happened back there? You couldn't break free from that at all? He explained what occurred. The instant the chain hit me, I felt all my strength disappear. Plus, I felt a strange, unknown demonic energy from it. He grumbled. If we have to fight him, I'm honestly afraid the three of us can't handle him. Suddenly, a new voice called out. You have finally arrived. It was Doif, head of the Russian Hunter Bureau. Hunter Wang Sik, he beamed. We've been waiting for you. Wang Sik stepped forward to shake his hand. I heard you came to Korea. I was busy then. Please forgive me. Doif waved it off politely. Don't mention it. Don't mention it. We are incredibly grateful that you came at all. The other three stared from behind, their mouths agape. Isn't that the director of the Russian Hunter Bureau? A figure that important came to greet him? Gregory appeared from nowhere. Hey, my friend. He charged at Wang Sik. I missed you. My Chiquita. Wang Sik roughly pushed him away. Gregory, get off me. He whined. Why so cold? That's a harsh way to treat our friendship. Wang Sik snapped back. Shut up. Did you forget people started rumors that I was gay because of this? The three hunters were stunned again. Gregory? The man with the golden hair was Gregory, one of only 6 S-rank hunters in the entire world. Despite his carefree looks, in a fight, he was a raging beast. He's the demon they call the Venus of the White Snow. He's rejected dinner with the president 3 times. A true maverick. The three of them stepped forward. Wang Sik spoke first. Is this mission not completely insane? Then Jonsu approached to greet him. Hello, Gregory. Now, would you please move away from our valuable employee? His attention shifted to her as he beamed. Well, if it isn't Miss Jonsu, at least allow me a warm welcoming hug. Just like before, a hand blocked his way. Jonsu made the introductions. Hana. This is Hunter Hana of the Korean Hunter Management Bureau. Hana was polite. Ah, hello sir. He gave a courteous greeting. Oh, a pleasure. I'm Gregory. She replied respectfully. I'm Hana. It's a pleasure to meet you. The three men's faces lit up with excitement. They all shared the same thought. Wait a second. If things go this way, we might get a chance to talk to Gregory, Wang Sik ordered. Let's go. Dolph found it odd. He looked towards the other three and asked, Are you not going to introduce them? Wang Sik replied coldly, I don't know them. As night fell, the mansion's lights flickered on. Hana and Jonsu were sitting and talking. Hana started the conversation. I never imagined Wang Sik would be that close with Gregory. He's the person I admire the most. Jonsu asked back. Is that so? Hana wondered. How did the two of them become friends? Jonsu began to tell the story. You know, this is the second time an S-rank gate has appeared in Russia, correct? Hana suddenly understood. So, it was during the first gate incident? Jonsu replied. That's right. She recalled that time as she explained. Back then, Gregory was surrounded by the boss and its minions, hanging on by a thread. That's when Wang Sik appeared with a raid party, saving Gregory and successfully clearing the dungeon. Hana broke into a sweat. That story sounds all too familiar. Jonsu smiled faintly. Every hunter who has met Wang Sik feels that way. The same goes for most of our agency's staff. She mumbled to herself. Gregory's savior. Wang Sik is truly world-class. He approached from behind. What's going on? She turned, annoyed, and snapped. What do you think? We're talking trash about the vice captain. Obviously. He questioned her. If you're so open about it, can you still call it talking trash? She cut him off. Shut up. Eat a snack and stop talking. A plate of sweets was on the table. Hana picked one up and said, In any case, for Russia alone to have 2 S-rank gates appear, it might be due to its large territory, but this can't be a coincidence. Wang Sik, sitting nearby, replied, Perhaps. She froze at his words, as he suddenly asked her a serious question. Miss Hana, have you ever wondered why the gates open? She was confused. I'm sorry? After a moment's thought, she answered, I've only had a vague theory, that they're a bridge to another dimension, or something like that. He praised her. A pretty good deduction. Then he continued his explanation. So, what if a gate far more dangerous than S-rank were to open? And what if it appeared as frequently as C-rank gates do now? She was completely shocked by his words. She argued, No way. Are you talking about something impossible? He denied it instantly. It will happen. The gates are an artificial technology, created and sent here by beings from another dimension. He explained this while picturing the monsters. Research on the gates is ongoing, and the gates opening in our world are evolving. A gate stronger than S-rank is only a matter of time. She was horrified. How could you possibly know that? Wang Sik looked out the window and said, "Do you recall the incident where children from an orphanage were abducted through a gate 15 years ago?" He continued. "I am one of the few survivors who returned from that place. Of course, this is top secret information." She reeled from one shock to the next. "That's impossible." He ignored her surprise and continued. "The other world has countless monsters that an S-rank gate can't even compare to." He grew grim. "And once their gate technology reaches a certain threshold, unimaginably powerful monsters will flood in and trample this world." After he spoke, a heavy tension filled the room. No one said another word. Finally, it was Hana who broke the silence. "Could it be even more powerful than the last one?" Wang Sik patiently explained. "S is the rank used to test the limits of gate technology. The monster's strength might be the same, but its internal structure could be completely different from anything we've seen." Meanwhile, in the hotel conference hall, people were gathering for the briefing. To strategize the S-rank gate conquest, over 40 elite representatives from various nations had gathered here. Jiansu whispered in awe. "This is amazing. These are all people I've only seen on TV." Wang Sik, beside her, was exasperated. "You're on TV all the time. What's the big deal?" She immediately retorted. "But they're on shows that I watch. I'm not on any shows they watch." Suddenly, a voice from behind them spoke up. "It seems the meeting has yet to begin." It was Tianfan, the director of China's Hunter Bureau, Zhang Tianfan. He smiled brightly and said, well, it seems we're late. Just look at this atmosphere. It has been too long. It's a pleasure to see you all again." The two by his side were Chu Lin and Zhen Tian. Junsu's jaw dropped as she stared at them. She exclaimed, "Isn't that Chu Lin and Zhen Tian? They're both S-rank hunters. Besides Gregory, 2 more S-rank hunters are participating." She turned to him excitedly. "I was really worried, but with this lineup, this S-rank gate raid should be handled smoothly, don't you think?" He remained silent, giving no answer. Gregory stood on the stage and began to speak. "Everyone, you've traveled a great distance to be here, and for that, we offer our sincerest thanks for coming to the aid of our country, Russia." Before we begin the strategy meeting, he called out suddenly, "Wang Sik, would you please step forward?" Wang Sik was annoyed. "What kind of trick is this?" Gregory threatened playfully. "Get up here, or I'll stop the meeting right now." "You know I will." Wang Sik sighed in defeat and walked up during Gregory's introduction. "Allow me to introduce my dearest friend and the savior of Russia. We call him by a special title." He grinned and announced loudly, "The ultimate tanker." Wang Sik fumed inwardly. "Just you wait, Gregory." The people below were stunned. "So, that's the ultimate tanker? The one who wore the demon helmet and black armor?" He continued smugly. "Judging by your reactions, it's clear you know how incredible he is. Now, I shall get straight to the point." He looked at Wang Sik and said, "Hunter Wang Sik, I want you to act as commander for this campaign." Wang Sik was stunned. "You mean, you want me to be the commander-in-chief?" From below, someone immediately objected. "Wait a minute." It was Tianfan who spoke up. "What is the meaning of transferring command without any discussion? Are you not showing blatant disrespect to the allies who are willing to risk their lives in this battle?" Gregory explained patiently, "This hunter, Wang Sik, is the one who turned the tide at the last S-rank gate. He snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. I believe with his record, he is more than worthy of leading this mission." He added with arrogance, "Now that we have arrived, the very possibility of failure is gone." The man seethed. "Oh, really? Have you forgotten who nearly sabotaged that entire operation? Right before we started, who pulled their troops over some failed negotiations? But the other man refused to back down. Why are you dragging up old history? If you lack the confidence to lead, then give the authority to China. We have 2 S-rank hunters. We won't take orders from some nameless rookie." Behind them, Wang Sik wore a smug grin. Following his lead might be for the best. But Gregory lost his temper. "I guarantee this man is more dependable than both of yours combined." Suddenly, Zhen Tian drew his sword. "That's a rather irritating statement," he growled. His sharp eyes locked on. "Then prove it with your strength." "That's enough," Su Lin interjected. He hesitated. Ignoring him, Su Lin continued, "I've also heard the rumors about this superclass tanker. If Gregory himself acknowledges his power, then he must be extraordinary." She smiled. "It's an honor. Superclass. We, in China, will recognize you as the commander-in-chief." Tianfan roared in fury. "Su Lin, what are you doing?" He slammed the table. "Making decisions on your own like that?" A cold, killing intent began to radiate from him. "Still," he grumbled, "if we let you decide this..." She cut him off. "Director?" Her threatening voice was laced with anger. Did you think I was your subordinate just because I was polite? Do I need to make things clearer for you? When he didn't answer, she snarled. Answer me. Shivering with cold fear, he stammered. I apologize. The onlookers savored the drama. She treats the director of her country's hunter bureau like that? Hana thought to herself, a shiver running down her spine. Is her position so high that she can disregard the government? Su Lin calmly ordered, It's getting noisy. Let's continue. Wang Sik could only sigh helplessly before voicing his own objection. I refuse the role of commander-in-chief. Gregory was shocked. What? Wang Sik explained. I absolutely despise giving speeches to thousands. That's a role better suited for you. Unwilling to let it go, Gregory pleaded. Hey, pal, I practically had to wrestle the president to negotiate this deal, you know? But he was cut off. But I can be the strategist. You give your input, I'll make the plan, and you can command the troops. How does that sound? Gregory was taken aback by the answer. After a moment of silence, he smiled. I suppose there's no other way. The deal was made, and they sealed it with a handshake. Then I'm counting on you this time, chief strategist. Just don't rush in alone like before. The meeting ended, but he alone remained. Hana asked, Not leaving? He replied, You go ahead. I need to review the list one more time. She covered her mouth to hide a teasing smile. Working hard, chief strategist. He endured it with a sigh. While he was focused on his review, Su Lin approached, catching his attention. He asked, Is there something I can help you with? She replied, I just wanted to say hello. He took her business card and read it silently. Yue Su Lin, Guild Master of Tianshang. She hopped onto the table and said, I never expected the rumored superclass tanker to be Korean. I heard Korea's hunter management agency is especially poor. He didn't deny it. Yeah, we're lacking in just about every way. She paused for a moment before continuing. Korea is too small to contain you. Then she revealed her true purpose. I'm making you an official offer. Join the Tianshang Guild. Let's shake the world together, he asked sarcastically. Shake the world? What? Are you planning to conquer it? She replied. World domination? It sounds similar. Su Lin extended a hand to him. But more accurately, we'll change the world. The laws and order that existed before the gates appeared are now obsolete. Don't you think society should be rebuilt around the awakened? Like us? Her sharp eyes stared him down. I will definitely create a world like that. He stood up to leave. The Devil King also used similar logic to justify his invasion of Earth. She asked, The Devil King? Wang Sik walked away coldly. And so, I decline your offer. Disappointed, Su Lin looked at her phone. She had looked up the Devil King. It turned out to be a character from a children's show. This made her smirk. Watching his retreating figure, she praised. You have a cute side, superclass tanker. The scene shifts to the S-rank gate. Many soldiers were lined up in neat rows. An announcement echoed. A total of 1,055 hunters from Russia and other nations have gathered for the raid on the S-rank gate. Preparations are complete, and they are now lined up before the gate. Russia's Hunter Gregory will serve as commander-in-chief and has just given the order to advance. Two announcers chattered. I suppose we'll hear his familiar slogan. Will he shout, For Russia again? Of course. It's the iconic line he uses before every raid. At that moment, Gregory was addressing the hunters. I thank all of our friends who came here to support Russia. As your commander, I will do my utmost to ensure no one is harmed and that we complete this mission safely. He took a long, deep breath and swung his sword, roaring, For Russia! The crowd below responded with a massive cheer. He looked pleased. Suddenly, Wang Sik appeared behind him, whispering in his ear, Remember your promise. Gregory stammered. Do I really have to do that? Wang Sik threatened. Or should I just head home? He took another deep breath and yelled with all his might, For cosmic peace. But this time, his words were met with silence. Wang Sik reminded him. Again. Embarrassed, he stammered, For cosmic peace. The hunters below couldn't help but chuckle. Gregory turned beet red and cursed, Damn it. The announcers didn't miss this detail. It seems there's a new slogan this time, For cosmic peace. It sounds a little childish, doesn't it? Yes, perhaps it's the commander's way of easing the tense atmosphere before an S-rank mission. Just then, they realized Commander Gregory had already ordered the advance into the gate. And so, the party stepped through the gate. They hoped to clear the mission with 0 casualties. General If watched from a monitor. A staff member reported, They've all successfully entered the gate, but something felt wrong. The general asked, What is it? Sir, the mana readings are spiking erratically, the agent said. The commander ordered all nearby personnel to maintain a safe distance and be prepared. The agent immediately complied. The commander thought grimly, This level of fluctuation is unprecedented for an S-rank gate. I have a bad feeling. After a moment, things returned to normal. The agent reported, "It's stabilized now, sir. Mana levels are up about 5%. The commander replied, "It must have been a temporary surge. Regardless, we should inform the team inside." At that moment, a man approached the portal. "I am Andre. I will now proceed into the gate." Suddenly, the gate flared with a blinding light. He opened his eyes in utter shock. His comms crackled. "Field camera is down. Agent Andre, report your situation." He stood frozen for a moment, unable to believe his eyes. Staring at the empty space, he hesitated. "It's the gate. It's vanished." On the other side, Gregory watched Wang Sik investigate. "Did it really vanish?" Gregory asked. The hunter replied coldly, "Yes." The man pressed him again. "So, what do we do now?" Wang Sik gave a clear order. "To prevent panic, announce that the exit will appear once the mission is complete." Gregory asked dubiously, "Is that really true?" Wang Sik admitted, "No, it's just a guess." He saw the other man's lingering anxiety. Wang Sik then reassured him, "There must be an exit. They can hide it, but they can't erase it completely from existence." Gregory had no choice but to accept. "Our mission remains the same. I'll just have to pray you're right." He then turned to address the group. "The exit will appear once we conquer this dungeon. No one panic. All forces, move out." Despite his confident words, Wang Sik felt a sense of dread. They finally developed a new technology. This raid would be difficult. The party pushed deeper into the dungeon. Gregory grumbled. "A second ago, this was a normal cave. Now it's a massive temple. What the hell kind of gate is this?" Suddenly, something ahead stunned them both. Indeed, a fork in the road lay before them. The hunters grew uneasy. "The path splits in three? This is a first." Wang Sik stepped forward. "We need to scout first. I'll go." Gregory quickly tried to stop him. "You're going personally? We have a recon team for that." Wang Sik's face was grim. "This situation is far from normal." Gregory asked, "Then what's the team composition? Are we sticking with the recon squad?" He replied instantly, "Get me Sarah, Kieran, Ali, and Okan." Gregory recognized the names. "The same people who helped you rescue me before." He reconfirmed, "Just them?" Wang Sik hesitated. "I'm also taking our hunter, Hana. And..." He glanced over at the three troublemakers. The trio looked completely clueless. Kieran stepped up to explain. "These are the elites handpicked by the S-class tanker. Their skills are beyond question." "It's an honor to accompany you," Myung replied politely. "We're happy to help." He thought suspiciously. "What's this? He always ignored me before. What changed?" He brushed it off. "Who cares? It's a chance to meet the top brass and prove myself. From today on, we're world-class hunters too." Seeing everything was set, Wang Sik declared, "All right, I'll move out first." He began assigning roles. "Okan, Ali, and Hana, you're on main damage." He continued, "Sarah will handle support and healing. Kieran, you'll guard the rear." Kieran replied enthusiastically, "You can count on us." Jong Ho was just as eager. "What about us?" Wang Sik tossed him a communication crystal. "Take this, you're our communications link." The man's jaw dropped. "What? But my role is main damage." Myung Sik was handed a pile of potions. "You're the field nurse." Myung Jin got a single water flask, but before he could protest, more items were tossed his way. And this too." He scrambled to catch everything. Wang Sik ordered, "Use them when necessary. Let's move out." Jong Ho was shaking with rage, and Myung Sik scoffed. "So now I'm the world's designated pack mule." Sarah summoned a ball of light to illuminate the path. "The passage is getting narrower," she warned. "It's like a labyrinth," Okan added. "I've never seen a gate like this before." Suddenly, Wang Sik yelled, "Halt!" He then called out, "Nurse!" The man looked bewildered. "Huh? Me?" In an instant, chains shot out and wrapped around him. Wang Sik then hurled him forward, causing him to yelp in shock. He was released after being thrown a considerable distance. He spun around angrily. "Hey, what was that for?" The words had barely left his mouth when a torrent of fire erupted with immense force. But Wang Sik was faster. The chains instantly cocooned the man and yanked him back. As Wang Sik withdrew the chains, the man gasped for air. Terrified, he yelled, "Damn it, you almost gave me a heart attack." Hana cried out. "What in the world was that?" She was astonished. "The gate has traps?" Ali agreed. "This is an entirely new design. I've never seen this before," Kieran added. "And in an S-rank gate, no less. The risks." Hearing this, the faces of the three troublemakers went pale. Wang Sik's voice turned grave. "It's the dungeonification of the gate. They've gained the ability to manipulate the internal environment. From simple caves to the complex nests of giant ants, the forms are endless. But despite that, there has always been one unbreakable rule. The only direct threats within a gate are the monsters themselves. That law hasn't been broken once since gates first appeared on Earth. But now, traps have appeared. The one with thick eyebrows panicked. The gate's been modified into a true dungeon? The man with black hair agreed. I thought gates were just staging grounds for monsters. But now, it's not just the creatures. The very space itself is a threat. Because of this, terror gripped all the hunters. Wang Sik warned, "Everyone, watch the floors and walls. Anything could be a trigger." He then led the way deeper inside. They hadn't gone far before a blood-curdling scream echoed through the hall. Junsu had suddenly fallen into a pitfall, but a teammate grabbed his hand just in time. The black-haired man struggled. "I've got you, but stop struggling. You'll drag me down with you." The man below just continued to whimper. Okan's face was grim. First poison darts, then explosions, now collapsing floors. Ali agreed. Not a single monster, just traps. Is it possible this is a trap-only gate? Wang Sik shot that down. Impossible. A gate's rank is decided by its mana signature. Traps alone can't produce an S-rank reading, he mused. The mana signature reflects the quantity and quality of the monsters inside. You can't just fill a gate with weak trash mobs to raise its rank. The last beast fell to a ceiling trap, ripping holes in the roof. Purple smoke poured from them. Wang Sik ordered, "Poison smoke? Ali, create a gust of wind." She complied. Right. But her simple spell became a raging gale. Ali felt a strange surge. What is this? Everyone was shocked. The smoke. It's turning red? Wang Sik analyzed. The smoke isn't changing. Something behind it is being revealed. He yelled, "Kirin!" The man grinned. "Excellent. My turn to shine, is it?" Wang Sik commanded. "Full area defensive shield. Don't let a single speck of dust through." He replied, "Understood." Kirin activated his ultimate defense shield. The red substance grew even more menacing. Kirin judged, "This thing is on another level." Wang Sik called for support. Hana, raging blaze. A fireball formed in her hands. "Everyone get down." Hana unleashed her full power forward. Raging blaze. As the flames died down, swarms of charred insects dropped to the ground. Kirin muttered, "Don't tell me." The red smoke appeared once more. An enormous monster materialized from the mist. It let out a terrifying scream. It was the S-rank monster, Blood Nest. One hunter panicked. The Blood Nest? How are we supposed to fight that thing? Another hunter saw the red smoke form behind him. It's on the other side, too. The situation looked grim. Wang Sik yelled, "Kirin, hold your position." "Okan, with me. We'll handle the other side first." He responded, "Got it." Wang Sik continued. "Sarah, Apostle of Bone, prepare healing. Hana, get Raging Blaze ready." Both moved into position. "Leave this to me." The Blood Nest charged forward. Wang Sik met its attack head-on. Seizing the moment, he yelled, "Hana, now!" She unleashed her power, striking the beast. A massive explosion erupted, blowing its body apart and revealing a single sphere inside. He realized, the core is exposed. Okan, both of them charged in. Okan thrust his spear at the core, but it barely made a scratch. "Damn it! It's tougher than I thought!" Suddenly, the black smoke from before reappeared. Before Okan could react, Wang Sik grabbed his collar and hurled him backward. Everyone screamed, "Wang Sik!" While grappling with the monster, Wang Sik ordered Zhong-O, power amplification. Everyone stared behind them in shock. Even Zhong-O was caught off guard. "Huh, me?" Wang Sik's voice was strained. "Hit my shield. Hurry." Zhong-O stammered. Okay." Wang Sik pressed him. "Hey, didn't you hear me?" Hana screamed in frustration. "Just hit the shield. Now." He still hesitated. He finally charged forward. He slammed his entire body into Wang Sik's shield. The enraged insects, buzzing a moment ago, suddenly deactivated and fell dead from the sky. Zhong-O gloated. Did I just take down the Blood Nest?" A voice from behind called him. "What are you doing? Get ready." He turned to look. He saw Wang Sik's head covered in blood. The team cried out, "You're injured." But he ignored them, ordering, "We'll deal with the other one the same way. Follow me." Myung Sik thought. Going into that is like jumping into a meat grinder, yet he's completely calm. Wang Sik said, "Kirin, you did well. Fall back for now." The man obeyed. Okan then used his spear to shatter the remaining monster's core. Wang Sik approached Sarah. "Sarah, I need healing." She scolded him. "Seriously? Your reckless habits haven't changed one bit, have they?" Suddenly, Zhong-O stood before him, much to his confusion. The man spoke awkwardly. Sorry for hesitating. If I'd reacted faster, you wouldn't have been hurt so badly. Wang Sik was surprised. What's this? Using formal speech? Even so, I'm still talking to you casually. Next time, just focus. That goes for the rest of you hunters too. There are no useless members on this team. They were startled, replying, right. After his wounds were treated, the group moved on. Wang Sik asked Han, the liaison, what's the status of the main force? Zhang O replied, Gregory and Yue Chulin have split up and are breaking through. Luckily, the layout is identical to ours, so progress is smooth. He warned, tell them not to go past the 6th chamber we reported earlier. We don't know what other variables might appear. He acknowledged. Understood. The scene shifts to another gate, where a voice is heard. What? It was the liaison for Gentian's team. The Supreme Commander ordered us to wait for the Vanguard's report. Gentian protested. The Vanguard only has 10 people, and they broke through. We have nearly 300. What are we worried about? But the liaison disagreed. On our side alone, over 20 people are already dead. If we aren't careful. Gentian cut him off. So what? He threatened. You think you can clear an S-rank gate without sacrifices? The liaison trembled. No, I wouldn't dare. Gentian walked away. He spoke to Chulin. This time, China will absolutely be the first to conquer this gate. We must show the world the true difference in our power. The team stood in a vast, empty chamber. Hana looked around, confused. Is this it? Sarah was perplexed. This definitely looks like a boss room. But it's empty, Zhang-O wondered. Was our path useless? Then, Kiran pondered. Thinking back, there were 3 paths from the start. The boss might be on Gregory's path, or Yue Chulin's for that matter. Wang Sik stood with his arms crossed, silent in thought. After a moment, he ordered, Myung Sik, scout the area around our entrance. Myung Sik replied, bewildered. Huh. Understood. He obeyed, returning to the entrance alone. Myung Sik activated his spatial detection skill. Instantly, a blue light shone from his hands. He found 2 doors, one on each side of the hall. Myung Sik gasped. There are 2 paths here, hidden by magic. Wang Sik was pleased his hunch was right, just as I thought. Those must lead to Gregory and Yue Chulin. It seems we have to clear all 3 paths to summon the boss. Right, Ali asked. So the boss will appear right here? He nodded. I believe so. Zhang-O was amazed. Spatial detection? Are you a scout? I always thought you were an assassin. Myung Sik confessed. Assassins are valued more, so I just built that image for myself. He then had a realization. I'm surprised you knew I had a spatial skill. Another hunter praised him. Thinking back on the battle now, he coordinated our team perfectly. He glanced at Wang Sik. I'm starting to understand why Gregory gave him command. A voice from another team cut in. You want to send the army in now? The man in green urged caution. Hold on, don't do it. We should at least scout what's inside first. But Gentian was too confident to listen. Whatever monster is in there, Yue Chulin and I will handle it. He snapped irritably. Your job is just to hold the line. What are you waiting for? Relay the order to the troops now. The man in green had to obey. Understood. He then yelled, Defense team, advance. Seeing the squad ready, he gave the order, begin the advance. But the soldiers froze in surprise. One of them muttered, There's nothing here. Another warned, Stay sharp, we don't know what's waiting. Suddenly, the room split apart. Countless red monsters swarmed from the chasm. A soldier screamed in terror. Blood nests. Another reacted instantly, shields up. Before they could act, they were completely swarmed by the horde. Some could only scream in agony as they were torn apart. Those who could still speak just begged for their lives. Help, help me. The man in green watched in horror. This is a disaster. A narrow hall would have been defensible, but this open space was a death trap. In stark contrast to the chaos, Yue Chulin was casually counting. 1, 2, 3. She seemed utterly bored. Only 10 of them in total? Gentian was equally unimpressed. Just a repeat of the same old monsters. This is so boring. Let's end this quick. With a single slash, he split the glowing orb in the center of the monsters. Yue Chulin flicked her wrist, and another orb shattered. Not to be outdone, Gentian destroyed 2 more. She then single-handedly obliterated 3 orbs. Instantly, the monsters shrank, falling harmlessly around the soldiers. Gentian scanned the area. That's all of them, right? Just then, Yue Chulin noticed something. Staring into a cloud of yellow dust, she said, I think there's one more. Within the smog, 2 golden eyes ignited, along with a pair of demonic horns. A moment later, its entire form was revealed, a royal blood nest. Yue Chulin mused, It's different. A high-level variant? Gentian just scoffed. Either way, just destroy the core and it's over. In a flash, the monster lunged right at her. Yue Chulin was taken by surprise, but she quickly conjured an ice shield. It ignored the troops to target me directly? Smart. The attack slammed into her shield, causing a massive shockwave. Her eyes widened as cracks spread across the ice. Yue Chulin was stunned. My shield is breaking? She screamed. Wang Gentian, hurry! He shot back. Just a second. I'm looking. The moment he spotted the black orb, Gentian grinned. Found it. His blade erupted in crimson flames, and he launched his weapon into the air. The weapon and orb collided in a fiery explosion, but the core only suffered a few cracks. His attack wasn't strong enough. Gentian roared, "It's not enough. All units, attack." The remaining soldiers unleashed their skills in unison. The barrage of attacks finally shattered the core, but Yue Chulin's expression remained grim. "We were too careless," she said gravely. He sighed in relief. "But it's over now." She then asked, "What are our remaining numbers?" Gentian guessed. "Let's see, probably more than half," she replied. "Then the boss fight shouldn't be a problem." Suddenly, the fallen monsters began to twitch. They all rose into the air, terrifying the soldiers. "What's happening? The bugs are rising up again." In mid-air, the monsters began to glow green. Ah! An eerie aura enveloped them all. One soldier watched as they fell, making a horrific, sizzling sound. Others realized too late, as the creatures began to rain down. "It's corrosive liquid." Yue Chulin calmly created an ice shield. "Wang Tian, get over here." Nearby soldiers rushed over, begging, "Guild Master, please, let us in too." Someone cried out in desperation, "Save us." A wounded archer could only stand there, enduring the agony. Thankfully, a kind soldier used his own shield for cover. He yelled, "Huddle together and get under the barrier." The archer began to weep. Thank you." But the acid rain was relentless. The shield was melting away. The soldier despaired. "Damn it, the shield can't take any more." The soldier closed his eyes, accepting his fate. "I believe in Yue Chulin and Wang Tian. To think I'd die so horribly on my first raid." Just then, a brilliant golden light shone down. The soldier opened one eye in shock. It was Guangqi, using a holy shield to protect the wounded soldiers. He furiously questioned her, "Yue Chulin, what in the hell are you doing?" He stepped forward, his voice cold. "Did you not receive orders from Gregoria? I told you, wait for the Vanguard's recon report. You were not to attack without orders." Gentian boasted arrogantly. "Why make such a big deal? Look around. We obviously succeeded." Guangqi's rage flared. "You dare say that after seeing this? Half of the comrades who trusted you are dead because of you. Do you see that?" But he just scoffed. "Casualties are expected when raiding an S-rank gate, aren't they?" Guangqi's face turned dark, his gaze like ice. He then turned to Yue Chulin. "You once said you would change the world. Is this really the path you've chosen?" Guangqi gave a sharp command. "Myung-Chi, connect me to Gregoria, now." The man fumbled. "Ah, yes." Gregoria's voice came through. "Be Wang-Chi, what's the situation?" He reported coldly, "Just as I predicted. They ignored orders and attacked recklessly. Casualties are over 100. Send recovery mages." Gregoria was horrified. "My God. All right. Yes." Guangqi then added loudly, "Oh, and one more thing. Yue Chulin and Wang Tian are removed from this operation." The voice on the other end was shocked. "You're expelling them?" Guangqi confirmed it. "Yes. If they stay, they'll only cause more destruction." Gentian roared in fury. "Hey, you bastard!" His killing intent flared. "Don't get cocky. Who gave you the right to expel us?" Guangqi coldly unleashed a golden chain, deflecting his attacks. Gentian leaped forward, rushing towards him. He then attacked with brutal, unrestrained force, but a powerful shield blocked his path. The clash of their power created vicious shockwaves. Everyone nearby was blown back by the force, sending everything flying. Only Yue Chulin stood firm, completely unaffected. Gentian sneered, "I've seen your file. You're just some C-rank trash daring to defy S-ranks like us?" Guangxi's golden chains lunged again with the force of a hurricane. He scoffed arrogantly. "That's useless. Think these childish tricks will work on me?" He suddenly panicked, sensing something behind him. Guangxi explained calmly, "I can use my chain rings on all 10 fingers." Gentian was crushed violently to his knees, cracking the very ground. He couldn't believe it. "What the hell is this? How is this possible?" He calmly retorted. "First time being bound? Are you stunned? Chain ring is a binding skill that leaves its target powerless." He sneered. "Is this all you've got?" You people charge in without even knowing of the royal blood progenitor. This must be the first time you've heard its name, right? He panicked. The royal blood progenitor? How do you know? Guangxi stated casually. Of course I know, because I've exterminated so many of them. I got bored. He recalled that in that other place, the ranks they used meant nothing. D rank or S rank. They're all the same. Guangxi growled menacingly. And yet, an S rank like you dares to defy me? He clicked his tongue in disgust. He instantly used his chain ring to hurl the man away. Guangxi warned, I have a rule. I don't attack earthlings inside a gate. Consider yourselves lucky. Su Lin was stunned. Earthlings? Zhen Tian raged. You son of a bitch! Su Lin calmly stopped him. Enough. You won't regret this, will you? Without us, attacking the boss would be difficult, wouldn't it? Guangxi stated bluntly. Having people like you around makes no difference at all. In fact, without you, the death toll wouldn't have been this high. Su Lin declared proudly. I told you before. This was just an accident. It's a normal risk in a gate raid. A powerful shield smashed into the ground, shattering it. He said coldly. Then let's see what everyone else thinks. Everyone stared at them with rage and resentment. Even their two teammates looked disappointed. Su Lin couldn't believe their gazes. Zhen Tian panicked. Who gave you permission to leave? Get back here, now! But no one remained by their side. Everyone had gathered behind Guangxi. He reminded Su Lin. No matter what world you try to build, in the end, you will be the only one left standing in it. Gregory announced. I've ordered Su Lin and Wang Zhentian to remain at the gate entrance until this campaign is over. They were to just sit and wait, a massive humiliation for them. He wondered, so, only the boss is left now? Guangxi agreed. Correct. He analyzed. Just as I predicted, all three paths must be cleared to summon the boss. He instructed. The troops are waiting. I'll go scout ahead. Gregory stopped him. Wait, you're going alone? Have you forgotten this is an S-rank gate? Guangxi replied calmly. That's exactly why I need to go and check it out alone first. He instructed. Whatever appears, I will buy as much time as I can. During that time, Commander, you make the next call. Gregory panicked. Hey, wait. A magic circle formed beneath Guangxi's feet. He grinned with excitement. Now then, what's going to appear? Rubble suddenly rained down. He calmly gazed up at a massive silhouette emerging from the dust. Gregory feared. A golem? Kyrian said, excitedly. 10 meters tall? That's not so bad. Suddenly, countless weapons appeared, as someone screamed. No, its entire body is made of weapons. The armed golem. Quote, an S-rank boss. Guangxi observed it carefully. Swords, axes, spears. Its entire body is a weapon. I've never seen one like this before. The vicious armed golem prepared to strike. He suddenly noticed something was off. Sharp swords launched out in every direction. Guangxi exclaimed, Impressive. Gregory watched the battle from afar. He analyzed. It uses direct attacks up close. He noted. From a distance, it fires its parts like a rain of arrows. Gregory grew worried. Is that its only attack pattern? Its power is immense. But it seems simple. Kyrian asked in fear. Why aren't we joining the fight? Even for a superclass tank, he can't withstand that onslaught alone forever. He hesitated, then resolved. I've decided, Gregory yelled. All forces, charge. Guangxi yelled in alarm. Don't. We don't know all of its attack patterns yet. A blinding light suddenly erupted right beside him. The armed golem unleashed a hurricane of weapons toward them. Gregory took the lead, ordering, Deploy shields now. The entire force immediately raised their defenses. They formed a barrier against the rain of weapons. One soldier struggled, forcing the words out. The shields are breaking. A heavy shield slammed deep into the earth. Kyrian roared, Everyone, fall back. Full defense shield. They cried out his name in worry. Kyrian. Slash after slash tore through him. He endured, thinking, It's piercing my full defense shield? A powerful weapon shot straight for Kyrian's face. He had no time to react. In that critical moment, Guangxi's holy shield materialized, blocking the fatal blow just in time. He shouted urgently, We can't hold for long. Everyone, back to the hallway, now. Shouts echoed everywhere. Retreat, retreat now. Kyrian blamed himself. I'm sorry, I was too impulsive. Gregory quickly refuted him. No. I made the final call. The responsibility is all mine. Don't say that. He suddenly asked, Hey, did you see it? The man was confused. See what? He repeated. That sword. Kyrian answered honestly. I don't think I could even count them all. It looked like 10,000 of them. Gregory analyzed seriously. But I saw it clearly. When it fired its weapons, he recalled, There was a sword in the center that looked like an energy core. Sarah scolded them angrily while performing her healing. She complained, "What do you tanks think your bodies are made of, anyway?" Kyrian sulked. "Hey, calm down. It was just a little fatigue." She raged back. "Be quiet unless you want to be crippled for life." Kyrian was puzzled. "But, if you're right, sir, we just need to destroy that central sword in the golem, correct?" Gregory agreed. "That theory is very likely. So far, every golem we've faced has had a core in its center," he wondered. "But with that wall of weapons, how can we possibly get close?" Hana rushed over, asking, "Hey, has everyone seen this?" They were all stunned. "Isn't this one of the golem's parts?" Gregory was in disbelief. "What is this?" "The weapons it launches are supposed to return and reattach to it, right?" Hana quickly answered. "A moment ago, I aimed for its core, but this axe blocked my shot." She offered her theory. "It seems that if its component parts are damaged, they just fall off like that." Gregory was internally impressed. Did she just pinpoint the core and attack in a single instant? Skillful. He suddenly understood. A direct assault was the only option. With a constant barrage, its armor would shatter, revealing the core. Hana urged them on. "We need to start. We can't leave Wang Sik there forever." Gregory's sharp eyes glanced back, calculating something. He agreed instantly. "I understand." The armed golem was viciously attacking Wang Sik, who taunted it with a smirk. "Is this all you've got?" Enraged, it swung a trembling hand to annihilate him. A devastating strike with terrifying power slammed down from above. It crashed against Wang Sik's shield. He struggled to hold, jeering. What a letdown. The monkeys on Dekas Mountain hit harder. The armed golem roared, shaking the heavens. The armed golem unleashed another dreadful technique, leaving Wang Sik horrified at the spectacle before him. He was shocked as a volley of attacks surrounded him, converging on his position. Wang Sik quickly activated his ultimate skill, Sacred Shield. It blocked the furious assault, but several weapons still pierced the barrier, rushing toward him. He deflected the incoming blades, one by one, sending them to the ground. Wang Sik felt a jolt of fear. It broke through several layers. This boss was the real deal. Suddenly, the golem was struck. One of its sides erupted in brilliant flames. He glanced over, stunned. He was in shock. "Gregory!" Gregory bellowed his command. "Attack! Don't stop until the core is exposed." The armed golem roared with rage. Staring at the fallen weapons, Wang Sik had a realization. "The golem can't retrieve them. I've found a way, Gregory." The armed golem howled in fury. An archer panicked. It's heading this way." It froze, completely bound by Wang Sik's crimson chain ring. He grabbed its attention, challenging, "You don't get to look over there. I'm pretty stubborn." He provoked it with a grin. "I'll hold out until all the flesh is torn from my bones." The others relentlessly attacked it, with a non-stop barrage of magic. Meanwhile, Wang Sik stood alone against a storm of flying weapons, aimed at him. A rain of weapons fell from the armed golem's body. Wang Sik froze at this new development. Hana cried out, "Gregory, look!" She warned with dread, "Mana is returning to the detached weapons." Gregory's stomach churned. Damn it, the golem's core is still hidden. He searched for a plan. Above all, Wang Sik's stamina, though he wouldn't admit it, was fading. He had to think of something, fast. Gregory asked Kirin, "How many mobile tankers are left?" The man reported grimly, "About 40, sir." Gregory immediately gave the order. "Prepare 20 of them. Spread the shields as wide as you can. Bait it into repeating the pattern that exposed the core." Sarah asked worriedly, "What are you planning to do?" Gregory commanded, "Sarah, create your shield. Hit me with your strongest blast." She hesitated, confused by the strange order, but she still cast the spell on him. With her immense mana, she urged, "You can take about 5 hits. Don't you dare die." He smiled in reply, "Of course not." Gregory gripped his sword with both hands, his determination absolute. He focused an enormous amount of energy into his blade. That terrifying power tore through the air, whipping up a cloud of dust and smoke. He instructed, "The moment we're in, spread to all 4 sides and trigger its pattern. Once you confirm the pattern, everyone retreat immediately." Gregory led the charge, rushing forward with incredible force, the first to enter the battle.